Simmons manages Chalkville Hardware in Jefferson County, Alabama.
We had very heavy foot traffic today.
Reporter Chris Fox is in Texas.
People would be making a mistake if they don't take it serious.
Governor Abbott activated state emergency response resources ahead of the winter weather threat.
I am making a disaster declaration covering 134 counties.
The state's power grid is expected to be taxed as the temperatures plummet. Pablo Vegas oversees the state's electric reliability.
We have well over 90,000 megawatts of capacity expected to be able to serve that demand throughout the weekend. We're not anticipating any shortfalls.
280 warming centers are being set up across the state. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
A busy day on Capitol Hill in the House.
On this vote, the yeas are 341 and the nays are 88. The bill is passed.
Those are 4 spending bills addressing defense, education, homeland security, and health and human services. They now move to the Senate with final passage needed before a January 30th deadline to avoid a partial government shutdown. Also, House Republicans barely defeat a Democrat-backed war powers resolution that would have prevented President Trump from sending U.S. military forces to Venezuela. At least 3 people are arrested in connection with the Minnesota church protest last weekend. CBS's Nicole Skanga in Minneapolis.
Federal agents arrested several people they allege were part of anti-ICE protests that disrupted a church service in Minnesota on Sunday. The church was targeted by demonstrators who say one of the pastors leads the local ICE field office.
Former special counsel Jack Smith oversaw 2 investigations into President Trump, looking at classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago and Trump's actions in the wake of the 2020 election. He has told a House committee today that he stands by his decision to bring charges against the president, which were dropped when Trump was reelected.
I am not a politician, and I have no partisan loyalties. My career has been dedicated to serving our country by upholding the rule of law.
On social media, the president called Smith, quote, a deranged animal who should not be allowed to practice law, unquote. Before leaving the World Economic Forum, President Trump signed the charter for his Board of Peace. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying there are 22 members.
Congratulations, President Trump. The charter is now in full force, and the Board of Peace is now an official international organization.
On Wall Street today, the Dow closed up 306 points. NASDAQ and S&P 500 also closed up. This is CBS.
I'm Major Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, tech troubles at Microsoft. That's one story we get to after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. We've got a big incident down in Highland Park, southbound 509 and Myers Way. It's a rollover crash blocking 2 left lanes. That leaves the far right lane open. Looks like a lot of drivers are actually heading up to Myers Way off-ramp and then getting back on the highway over the on the on-ramp there. So Trooper Rick Johnson just sent a message out over X and says the driver was ejected. So this could be with us for a while. Prepare for a possible full closure. Meanwhile, traffic is jammed up across the First Avenue South Bridge onto East Marginal Way. Here in Seattle, North 5, pretty solid approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. Going to take you a half hour now to make it through downtown Seattle. South 5 looks good. You're crowded from the U District to I-90, close to freeway speed, so we're 20-25 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Westbound 520 jams up at Montlake over to I-5. Westbound 90 just prior to the Mount Baker Tunnel. Your right lane is blocked by maintenance crews, and you're backed up to Mercer Island. South 405, pretty thick from Mid-Bellevue to 112th. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes. And Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both at 50 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. New this hour, we have learned Federal Way police are investigating a double fatal shooting this morning. A couple in their 60s was found dead. Their adult son is now said to be a person of interest. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has the latest.
It was just before noon when Federal Way police responded to a home near Southwest 337th Street and 7th Place Southwest for a welfare check. They found the couple deceased inside the home and quickly developed their son, 35-year-old Mick Carmichael, as a person of interest. They've been searching for him ever since. Please see a picture of Carmichael at mynorthwest.com and call 911 if you see him or know of his whereabouts. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And late word into the newsroom, Federal Way Police now clarifying this is just a double fatal homicide. No word yet on how the couple died. Thousands of Microsoft users are dealing with tech issues. Outlook and Microsoft Teams both suffered outages late this morning, disrupting email and workplace communication. Microsoft reporting some users are unable to send or receive emails. Latest update from the company says engineers are working quickly to resolve the issue. Repairs are underway and services are gradually coming back online. It has become the unofficial anthem for the Seahawks playoff run.
12-1, you know how we do it. Better bring your hard hat when you can illuminate.
Seattle-based rapper Dre's is the man behind that song called The Dark Side. He joined KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula.
We needed something that felt like, it was real hip-hop, not corny, I don't do that, but this had to be a banger.
Dark Side is the nickname for the Seahawks defense. You can listen to the full track on mynorthwest.com. Oscar nominations came out this morning. There is one big local connection.
There were once passageways to the old world.
The movie Train Dreams was filmed across Washington, including in cities like Spokane, Snoqualmie, and Colville. The film picked up 4 nominations, including Best Picture. It is set in the early 1900s Northwest. The film will play later this month at Central Cinema in Seattle and also SIF downtown. Weather update now. We are seeing some increasing clouds for this afternoon. Tomorrow morning fog, and then plenty of sunshine for Friday, and we are looking at a lot of sunshine for the weekend. Right now, 41 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show.
Oh, good.
Listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Please.
Thank you.
Help us make the show better.
You are 97.3. I also love 97.3. I don't like 97.3.
They don't know what the they're doing. You know that. You know that very well.
Don't talk to me.
Okay. Kind of a bad start.
No, it was great.
See, you're going back and forth on it. At least we weren't fake news.
That's right. Very indecisive.
We're not fake news.
Maybe another time when he calls in.
Okay, fine. Nice to hear from the president. Here we go. Lots of news. Not even Friday yet. The only thing I look forward to, Seahawks game coming up. Deep into all this. I said yesterday while doing the show, Joey, I threw my hands up. I said, God, all this sad news. So I had to put a call out to my buddy Frank. I'll get to him in just a little bit. Need a pep talk. This is the guy. You got to get him to pick you up, drive you from the airport, drive you from the hotel to the airport. You only need 20 minutes with Frank. Get your head straightened out. Know what I mean? Just straighten your head out in a second. Hang on. Here's the rest of the news. Ted Kaczynski pleads guilty to bombings in 1998. Do you know who motivated? Do you know who was part of his inspiration?
I don't.
There's this French guy who I think in 1960 something or other, he said God came to him in a vision. Didn't talk about it much. And then he became a Christian. Then he talked all about the fear of what technology is going to do to society. And when Ted wrote the guy a bunch of letters, they wrote back and forth, but Ted never, in his manifesto, never put the guy's name in. He put a bunch of other footnotes and things in there, but he never put his name in there because he didn't want to be able to track him down. Track down Ted. Let's see. Oh, mushrooms. I didn't read that story, Joe. I'll get to it right here. Here it is. They saw them eat them on a dish, mushrooms, and then people started hallucinating dozens of tiny people. Where is she? Speaking of tiny people, she should be up front there.
Oh, okay.
All right. Plus, Ryan's going to talk about Coach Mike McDonald's speech that predicted that we would see Sunday's game. He made this prediction. I don't know if God came to him in the locker room or what, But apparently Mike McDonald, like Nostradamus, knew that this was going to be happening. Oh, a whole bunch of stories regarding what's happening with the Seahawks. Plus, Rye is on the lookout for that. The World Economic Forum, I think of all the talking that had been going on for more than 72 hours, I think the most captivating moment most people missed, and when Joe grabbed that for me, and it needs to be heard. And it'll also put in perspective the cut that we played from the president the other day, and we sort of kind of mocked a little bit about recognizable part of Europe. But it was the comment just before that that needs to be heard. Let's see. Well, look at this. This is not good news for me. I married a Greek girl, but Greece ranks third amongst all. How do they figure this out?
Data.
Well, go to Greece if you want this sort of thing. And then also we'll get to, what's your favorite one there in the 5 o'clock?
Oh, it's just one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This one's going to, I think I get a blood pressure problem on this one. Remember the story that we heard a couple days ago? All the news had it. Oh, ICE. ICE has been seen at the school. ICE was seen at the school. So somebody said they saw ICE people at the school, and then they verified that there was nobody from ICE. In fact, ICE has never, ever in the United States gone to a school, but apparently somebody said, I think we saw a car there. That was verified. It wasn't true at noon. Why did the news run the story at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that ICE was possibly seen at the school and the schools were locked down? Why did they not tell everybody, they locked it down, but then they took the kids off the thing? No, it was, no, look out, everybody. See that? I'm already upset.
The table didn't do it. Come on, man.
And then some other stuff as well. All right. I need Frank right now. Hit it, Andrew, please. Frankie! Frankie, where are you? Frankie, where are you?
Hey, I'm calling from Brooklyn over here.
Yeah!
How are you, John?
Frank, I'm great. I'm great.
Good to hear you.
How did you and I meet?
I picked you up at the hotel.
Yep.
And drove you to the airport.
Yep.
And we had a conversation. We hit it up pretty well. We lasted 17 minutes.
What was it about that conversation, Frank?
There's something about you, John. I felt connected, like you had something that, what, let me say hello, tell you a little about myself. I felt very comfortable with you. I'm the type of person, I was a profiler on Wall Street. If I meet somebody for 30 seconds, either I like you or I don't. If I don't like you, I'll still pray for you.
Yeah.
That's how I run.
There's a lot. We were going to have you on the air numerous times, and you were hesitant because the life that you led prior to when you and I met, there's a lot of stuff that happens that you not necessarily want public. I understand that, respect that, so we're not going to go into that. But you've had a very, very challenging life, Frank. Stuff that you shared with me, I was very moved by all of it. But more importantly, then I said, so Frank, so where's your life now? Why leave all those troubles in New York behind and all the troublemakers behind in New York and all that stuff? Then you found yourself there in Virginia, and I mean, in a very little town there. And I said, well, how do you get going again, and how do you establish yourself at your age? What's the secret to that? Yeah.
All right, so I'm the type of person, I'm compulsive and impulsive, right? So I lost everything in 2008. I mean, everything. I was like almost homeless. And my sister moved to Virginia after my mom and dad passed away. And she said, Frank, come out here. Maybe start a new life. My son got married. Your son gets married, you lose your son. So I lost him to this woman, whatever it is. So I came down here in May of 2010, and I started, being compulsive and impulsive. Everything I did was more, right?
Yeah.
So my mom said to me many years ago, she says, Frankie boy, I think you're a functional alcoholic. What the hell is that? It's somebody that can hold a job, be successful, and still drink like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Must be the Italian Brooklyn thing.
Sure.
So 30 days into Virginia Beach, I raised my hand one day and says, "My name is Frank. I'm a Frankaholic." Not an alcoholic, a Frankaholic. And what happened was I was introduced to a 12-step program that teaches me how to live life. All right, so, John, I don't have much financially, but I have everything in my heart. So it goes like this. I help other people with addiction because it shows me where I was when I first came in. I came here with nothing, clothes on my back. And today, I don't have it all. I have peace of mind. Mom said to me many years ago, Frank, there'll be a time you lose everything in your relationships, women, things, whatever it is, you lose it all. But you'll have two things that you'll get. You gain a God of your understanding, a relationship with yourself, and learn how to love yourself. And I've been sober, and I don't mind anonymity because I'm very proud of it. I'm sober 16 years.
Yeah.
I go to meetings. I help people with addiction. I go to church. I'm not a Bible thumper, but I believe in God.
Uh-huh.
There are three things I say every day: is God, thank you for another day. Thank you for what I have, not what I want, and let me hug my enemy. Imagine that. I used to be called Frank the Batman with a bat in my hand. And today, people need love. Look at the world. You report the news all the time, John. How crazy is it?
I know.
How crazy is this world? So my life, I live in a day. I live in a day. If I wake up, I say, God, thank you for what I have, and show me the way.
Mm.
I have to do the work. Don't get me wrong. I'm 70 years old. I still work 25, 30 hours a week because life ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy out there. It's a tough life. Every time I turn around, hey, this is higher. This is higher. That's higher. You know what my attitude is? I deal with it. I run away from it. I face it. They call me the juggler. Before I was the joker. I juggle this thing. I juggle. What am I paying today? What am I not paying? But my attitude is different. My grandfather was 102 years old when he died. 102. Mom dies at 65. Dad is 69. My sister is 65. They all die from some type of addiction, smoking, drinking. And what killed them is stress. Stress kills everybody, right, John?
Yeah.
My grandpa had this attitude from Italy, Sicily. He said, forget about it. You look at that look for death. You respected it, you lived. If you didn't, you died. Simple as that,
Yeah.
And, I wake up with a good attitude no matter what goes on. I don't avoid things. Like today, right? Just to give you an idea. My management team, my property management says, hey, Frankie boy, you're paying $300 less than everybody else. We're going to raise you $150. And on top of that, we're going to get your water bill. It's $170 for one person each month. So I said to her, I says, well, can you do anything for me? She said, nah, I can't help you. So my attitude is I'll work an extra day. I'll make it happen. I don't borrow, and I don't lend. I learned my lesson over those things. Bottom line is, if I can't do something, God has a plan for me. If one door closes, another door will open up. And when you see somebody on the street and they're hurting, hey, nice hand them. I like that tie. Hope you have a good day today.
Yeah.
We affect the people by the way we treat them. So if you get mad at me, John, here's what I'm going to do to you. Ready?
Yeah, Frank.
Give you a big hug. Give you a big hug. You get mad at me, I'm going to hug you. Back in the day, I hit you with a bat.
Yeah. There are a number of people that probably know you as the guy with the bat or something else. So how'd you get over that part of it, the hating part, Frank?
Okay, so it went like this. I realized that I was just like everybody else with addictions. I turned it over to a higher power I call God, and God shows me the way. And God talks through people, John.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you stand there and don't say a word, and God will talk through you and help you get through the day, no matter what you face. I think about what I don't have. I think about the guy on the street has no money, no place to live, no food. I say to myself, how dare I complain?
Yeah.
When I had it all, John, I could put myself out to people that more than I do. Today, I woke up. That's a blessing. Every day I wake up, John, it's another birthday.
Frank, just quick on your past, because people see where you are, but so often people judge where you came from. You lost millions.
I lost a lot.
Yeah, and you lost all the connections that you had there. You left it all behind. For people that are lucky enough to get picked up in your van there and be driven over to the airport, do you talk to everybody like you talk to me?
I look in their eyes, John, and see if they need conversation. And sometimes I just have to be quiet. You know, a lot of times people are, believe me, people with lots of money doesn't make them happy, John. You know, if they're struggling with medical diseases and mental illness, that's what you have to address those things. You know, I'm nice to everybody, John, because that's what I have to, because I want to be. It makes me feel good. You know, when I got something that I never had before.
What's that, Frank?
Unconditional love.
From whom?
From God. He shows me the way. People talk. I go to meetings every day, or 3 meetings a day. And God talks through people. When I'm struggling with something, whether it be financial, emotional, or spiritual, I ask for help, and I get it.
There's people listening right now that don't believe in God, Frank.
All right, you're spiritual. How about a spiritual thing?
Sure.
Right, here's the bottom line.
Okay.
Here's what I did.
Give me the bottom line. Frankie, give me the bottom line.
Hey, Frankie, bottom line. Ego, which is edging God out. So what happens is when you work on your ego and your self-will, and that controls your life, and money controls your life, you'll never be happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you turn it over and say, hey, you know what? I need some help. And it's very difficult for a person like me to say, hey, buddy, can you help me? I was brought up, you do what you got to do, and you ask for help. You don't ask for help. Today, when I'm struggling, I make a phone call. And people that are in my network of people, they advise me.
Mm-hmm.
They advise me. The other side, because I don't get mad at anybody. You know, I accept this for what they are. I may not have to like it, John, but maybe they're struggling with something, and misery loves company. So, and the other side that really strikes me pretty well is having expectations from other people. No expectations.
Yeah.
You do something for somebody, John, you do it from your heart, and don't tell them that you did it.
Yeah, right.
And that's the amazing part of it. If you do something and they get, let's say, wow, this person, don't claim it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm. Frankie, we actually make this a regular call for you and me. We need to talk again.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Hey, Frank, you got big weekend plans? I know it's only Thursday. What are you doing over the weekend?
No, we were expecting a big storm here. I'm working tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. All right. God bless. Let's talk soon, okay?
Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Take
Frankie.
care.
That's what friends are for good times and bad times. I'll be on your side forevermore.
Dionne Warwick. And Elton John comes in. Oh.
That's when it gets down and dirty.
And Steve.
Yeah.
Keep shining. No, you can always count
on me.
For sure. 'Cause I tell you, that's what friends are for.
That's Frankie. What
a great guy.
He did not want to talk about his past.
Oh.
Hoo-ha.
Frankie the Batman.
Did he talk about how he lost his money, or is that the part
I got the whole thing,
but we can't talk about it?
No, no.
All
right. That was his biggest concern. Is somebody's like, Dad, don't go on, don't talk about. So
yeah, I'm going to do what Frankie says.
You better, Frankie the Bat. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Seattle Sports has our update. Highland Park, full closure now. Southbound 509 at Myers Way, where we're on scene of this rollover crash where the driver was ejected. That driver has been transported to Harborview. So traffic is jammed up across the First Avenue South Bridge onto East Marginal. No estimated time to reopen. Drivers are being detoured to Myers Way and then right back onto 509 at the Myers Way on-ramp. Here in Seattle, North 5, no surprise. We've got a pretty solid backup approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. where 2 left lanes are blocked for Revive I-5. It's going to take you about a half hour now to make it through downtown Seattle. South 405 is packed between Mid-Bellevue and 112th there in Newcastle. More slowing developing from the VMAC to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. North 405 slows from South Center to the Renton Landing. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 50 minutes. North 5, you're mostly clear once you get past that Ship Canal. North 405, heavy volumes to Kirkland, but after Northeast 85th, this clears out pretty quickly. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I'm telling you, this is so easy for you. This is a simple New Year's resolution that is guaranteed to succeed. I'm talking about reversing hair loss. This is a quick, easy, one-day hair loss solution from Advanced Hair. You begin to regrow your very own natural hair the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow. And Dr. Alan Perungo is there with his top-rated team at Advanced Hair. And they've been recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. And if you're checking, that's 2 years in a row. So you've got a very simple decision to make. You can go bald or get your hair back. I chose to get my hair back. Fuller head of hair is the New Year's resolution for you that is guaranteed to be achieved. You can celebrate the new year with a full head of hair thanks to Advanced Hair and get $250 off, 250 free hair graft. All you have to do is schedule a free consultation at 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. You can visit them online. When you go online, look for the before and after pictures. You will be amazed. That could be you right there at advancedhair.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Dan. Dan, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
I had the same insurance company for 30 years and just accepted all the premium increases as inflation or feeling tethered to them because I have earthquake coverage and was uncertain about being able to get that anywhere else. But when I talked to Ken at First Mark, wow, he came back with bigger umbrella policy, better earthquake coverage, which I didn't think was possible. And when he came down with the premium number, it was a no-brainer. We were saving over $2,500 a year. Don't wait, because it's annoying to think of what I could have done with that money over the last 10 years had I done something sooner.
Well, Dan did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be the next First Mark Challenge victory that I get to talk to as well. Simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com, firstmarkinsurance.com.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals.
Pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle police are asking 12s to be on the lookout for ticket scalpers before Sunday's NFC Championship game versus the Rams. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
SPD Detective Brian Pritchard tells me they're worried. For big games, fans tend to be willing to pay bigger bucks for tickets, and scammers prey on that.
Never send payments through like gift cards, wire transfers, or peer-to-peer payments.
Instead, buy from a reputable business like SeatGeek or Ticketmaster, and always ask to verify the seat or section number and the date on the tickets before you pay. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Now an update on a key injury for the Seahawks. One of their starting offensive linemen, Charles Cross, is improving after suffering a foot injury in Saturday's win. Head coach Mike McDonald.
Yeah, Charles is good. We'll see how today goes, but we're optimistic for the game, but just working through his foot.
And McDonald says QB Sam Darnold had a good day at practice. He was limited, but remains on track to play Sunday after he's been dealing with an oblique strain. Tragedy hit Mount Rainier National Park, where 2 people died while climbing. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports their bodies were recovered near Wilson Glacier.
Officials say rangers started searching Saturday after the climbers' permits were overdue and contacts reported them missing. Their vehicles were found in the Paradise parking lot. Harsh weather kept helicopters grounded, but ground crews finally reached the motionless climbers Tuesday. Authorities will release their names and causes of death when they're ready.
The longest actively serving Democrat in the Washington legislature is about to end his career. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi has more.
81-year-old Democratic State Senator Steve Conway, described by the Washington State Standard as a liberal lion and unapologetic voice for labor, told his colleagues on Wednesday that the 2026 session will be his last.
And I can tell you, it was a hard decision.
He tells the Standard he's retiring to spend more time with his family. Conway serves the 29th District in Pierce County. He first won a special election to the House in 1993, then a Senate seat in 2010. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Turning now to the real-time traffic desk, and we check in with Nate Connors.
All right, this report brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino. Update you down in Canyon Park, where we still have a full closure on southbound 509 at Myers Way. We're on scene of a rollover crash. We've got the investigation underway. This involved the driver being ejected. That driver has since been transported to Harborview. No estimated time when this is going to reopen. Meanwhile, drivers are being directed off and then back on the highway at Myers Way. Here in Seattle, North 5, pretty solid. Approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. You'll catch a little break there in downtown. Taking about a half hour to make it through this backup. South 5, you're slow from Lake City Way to I-90. Nothing heavy, though. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes. Southbound 405 is heavy through Bellevue, down toward the VMAC. All added up, Bellevue to Renton will take you a half hour. North 405 slows from South Center to the Renton Landing. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 50-minute commutes this afternoon. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on a half hour. And Tacoma to Olympia is at 45 minutes. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event, powered by WFC, February 6th, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Now to your forecast. Got a few more clouds in the mix today, but no rain in the forecast, at least until looks like Wednesday now. Increasing sunshine for tomorrow and the weekends. Right now, 41 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Thank you, Home Comfort Alliance, for heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs. Plus $2,000 off a Lennox heating and cooling system, Joe.
Excellent.
Thank you, Teen. Where's Teen?
Hello.
Hello, Teen. There we go. Let's see this day in history. Oh, by the way, 1-888-973-5476. Some of you already texted in when they say ICE went to a school. Now, ICE is not allowed to go into schools. Not allowed to go into churches. They chased some guy for about 4 miles, and the chase ended at a school. So thank you for those of you wanting to make my statement a little clearer. Still, going back to pounding the table about the big story about, ICE, look out, everybody, ICE going to the schools. All right, this day in history. 1905, Bloody Sunday massacre in Russia. 1973, Roe v. Wade is decided. 81, final portrait of John and Yoko appears on the cover of Rolling Stone, where you credit her with destroying the Beatles. Can't you?
Yes, you can.
1984, Apple Icon 1984 commercial airs during the Super Bowl. Remember that one? I think they had a hammer. You're too young.
Yeah.
What year were you born?
80.
Golly.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, thanks, Andrew. It is on YouTube. A lot of good that does us. We're doing radio. Marconi was dreaming of. Ted Kaczynski pleads guilty to bombing. This is 1988, and Heath Ledger dies of accidental prescription drug overdose in 2008. Let's do Ted. So here's a story about Ted Kaczynski. He was a genius. The guy, he skipped 6th grade and 10th grade. He got into Harvard at 16, graduated at the age of 20. While he was there at Harvard, it was a bizarre experiment that they did. There was a professor there that for 3 years did this experiment on the students. He had them write all their dreams and aspirations about what they wanted to do, what they think they're good at. They put it all in. They were told, no one's going to see these essays. But then they would have the students read the essays, and they would hook the students up that had read the essays. They would then hook the students up to this heart rate and blood pressure thing. They would have the students that came in and read the essays scream at the other students about, you're a moron and you'll never succeed and all the things you say you're going to be, you never succeed. For 3 years, they were all part of this experiment. Anyway, Ted said it didn't affect him, but I can't imagine. Anyway, he gets out. He ends up, he's the youngest professor at Berkeley. He teaches mathematics, but the students said he was horrible. Just a terrible student. He quits that, and he decides, that's it, screw it, I'm going off. He goes off to Montana. He builds a cabin. He lives in Montana, purely off the grid, as many as off the grid as you could possibly be. He ate rabbits and ate berries to stay alive. One day he was out hiking, liked to hike a lot, and he comes across that a road has gone in. And then he also notices that somebody has built a cabin. He goes into the cabin, destroys the cabin, ruins the snowmobiles and everything else in there. And then he sees the trucks and everything else that helped build this road. And he puts sugar in the gas tank. And that's kind of the beginning. He's like, that's it. Somebody has discovered my paradise. And now I'm going to go nuts. His main problem that he saw after reading the work of Jacques Ellul, who wrote, the Technological Society in 1954. And Jacques, who at the age of, he was born in 1912, he saw God came to him in a vision in 1930, and then Jacques became a Christian, and he was basically warning America and warning the world about technology, writing his book in 1954, saying, look out, it's going to be very convenient, but at the same time, you're going to be lulled into this you're going to give up something in order to be able to enjoy the toolbox of technology. And Gandhi did the same thing, interesting, warning society. But Ted took it one step further, and he saw that technology and society and humanity and basically the forces of economics are all forcing us in to then become slaves of technology, and we're giving up our authentic selves, and we need to somehow break this apart before these chains not only enslave us but eventually kill us as well. Jacques, when he was Jacques died, I think just around the time Ted started bombing, and Jacques Alou said, "Listen, no violence." He sort of saw that somebody like Ted Kaczynski could come along and want violence to interrupt technology, and he wrote against that in 1954. He didn't even know who Ted Kaczynski was, but he said, just warning you, yes, use it only as a tool, but don't let it take you over. But Ted ignored that part of it and said, "Oh no, I'm going all in on this idea of breaking technology and breaking ourselves apart from the economic forces that are having all of us conform ourselves in order to be part of the economy." Like, for instance, you talk about cars. They build streets, they build towns that you have to have a car. So now you're forced to have a car. Then you put you on a train, then you're forced to be on that track. You have given up your freedom because now they're building all of the structure around you being basically a cog in the system. So you want to blow up the whole system. He ends up killing 3 people with bombs. I don't know what that was going to do, but if you read the manifesto, it's about 55 pages long. He had a lot of good points in there. The violence part of it didn't make any sense. I read the manifesto.
Did he have was there a demand? I mean, what was his...
You'd have to, for him to be happy, you would have to break everything apart, and I guess we would all go back to be authentic, to not be connected to anything.
So, all Amish, basically.
Everybody would be, yeah.
Interesting.
And that any relationship you form would be formed out of necessity of friendship and necessity of caring. There would not be kind of the invisible hand that Adam Smith talked about, where I could hate you and you could hate me, but you still need a bag of apples, right?
Everything's transactional.
It's all transactional, yeah. It is. If you do read it, you sort of see, okay, that's true and that's true and that's true, but how do you get yourself out of it? You can't get out of it.
Yeah, good luck.
You want to live in a cabin in Montana and eat rabbits?
No, I don't. So he asks to have his manifesto published.
Yes, he does. He said, "Listen, I'm going to keep bombing. I'm going to keep killing people unless you publish the manifesto." The Washington Post published the whole thing with 36,000 words or 38,000 words. The whole thing goes in. I think his stepsister sees it and his brother sees it and recognizes the writing and said, "Oh, that's my brother."
Oh, boy.
And then they went and they got him. But his bombs, they would never track him down. For 2 years, there was an entire team of FBI agents trying to figure it out. But Ted was so brilliant. He'd use other people's fingerprints and put those onto the bombs and use different ways. And so 3 lives were lost, and Ted ended up killing himself, suicide in prison.
And it was his own handwriting that did him in.
Well, his own style of writing.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Washington Post wasn't putting in their handwritten.
Really? I assumed they printed a handwritten.
No, he typed it all out.
Oh, I got you.
Using technology.
Come on, Ted.
Can't get out of it. Any happy notes in there? No, there's no. Apple's commercial. There we go.
It's on YouTube.
Thank you for that. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. The Emerald Queen Casino has our update. We've got a full closure on southbound 509 and Myers Way heading through Highland Park, just at the south end of the First Avenue South Bridge. We've got an investigation underway following a rollover crash. No estimated time to reopen. So drivers are being detoured there at Myers Way and then back on the highway via the Myers Way on-ramp. Here in Seattle, North 5, now pretty solid coming around the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. 35 minutes now to make it through downtown Seattle. Our lake bridges look great, though. Westbound 520 eventually jams up there at the Arboretum over to I-5. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. I-5 Just minor backups forming between Northgate and Linwood on 405. Pretty solid now between Bellevue and Canyon Park. South 405 is packed between Bellevue and the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton's in a half hour. And Renton to Puyallup along the Valley Freeway. Give yourself 45 minutes. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event, powered by WFC, February 6th, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Here comes another drop in the mortgage rates. Economists say about 55% sure that there will be a couple of more points coming off mortgages sometime in January. So that means more and more people will jump into the market and get that house sold because maybe they'll be able to afford a house. And they'll also start to notice the number of homes that go on the market right after the Super Bowl. Sort of a weird thing, but it is true. So if you are one of those people that's sitting on the sideline, you plan on getting that house on the market, and your plan must include Mike Novak, because Novak will sell your house because Mike Novak will lose money if he doesn't. Here's how this works. He told me, he said, Curley, tell everybody I'll sell their house in 21 days. If not, they don't have to pay me a commission. And that's a lot of money out of his pocket because Mike Novak is going to spend 70 times more than the average agent to make sure that your house gets seen and shown and then sold. You look at Novak's listings, you can see exactly how he works. And you know that house is going to be sold because he is a hustler. You want to be able to get Novak's team working to see that your house is sold. So how do you do it? Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks.com. That's Novak. Meetthenovaks.com.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
I really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
There's leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today.
It's hiring season at Sky Nursery. Hi, I'm Jen, greenhouse manager here at Sky, where we've been proudly serving Seattle area gardeners since 1953. Sky Nursery is truly a fantasy plant land, but it's also a bustling environment that takes a great team to succeed. Whether you're making coffee, cashiering, or on the sales floor, we're looking for applicants who like to learn, adapt with the seasons, and go home knowing they made a difference in somebody's garden. Spring is fast approaching. Find open seasonal positions and benefits at skynursery.com.
All right, Joe found this story. Your interest in psychedelic things, Joe, makes me concerned.
This is medicinal.
Oh, it is. Okay. They saw them on the dish when eating. The mushrooms making people hallucinate, dozens of tiny people. So this guy is a professor. He's a scientist. He hears about these mushrooms that apparently you must put the mushrooms on a hot pot in a restaurant. You got to set the timer for 15 minutes. If you don't, it says if it doesn't cook for 15 minutes, don't eat it, or you will see little people. So then now there is this scientist then travels the world to find the mushrooms. He reads all about it. He thinks even maybe Gulliver's Travels was somehow inspired by the mushrooms that were eaten.
Yeah, they found the same strain on
Papua New Guinea.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Put out there. It's a long trip, 12 to 24 hours after you take the stuff. And can you still get them somewhere? If you want
they
them?
sell them everywhere in certain parts of China.
But 15 minutes, they got to cook for 15.
Got to cook for 15 minutes.
Or unless you want to see little people.
Exactly.
Anything else other than little people?
No, that's it. At least that's all reported. For whatever reason,
you don't feel like you're tied down by little people?
Unclear, because nobody that's studying it.
Yeah, that was the thing that you were upset about. That the scientist does all of this work, travels all over the place, and never bothers to try it himself.
And he says specifically in that BBC article, well, because it lasts so long, I haven't taken the opportunity.
Oh, here he is.
For the past 4 years, I've been studying this new type of hallucinogenic mushroom. In talking with people who have experienced this effect firsthand, they've described the effects as first seeing several hundred, if not thousands, of little people embedded in their environment. They're often reported as interacting with the real world, jumping on chairs and tables. One person told me as they were eating soup, the little people were jumping off their spoon into the bowl of soup, swimming around, and as they scooped their spoon to eat them, the little people remained in their mouth. 90% of people actually see little elves or clowns or other fairy-like figures. A remote culture in the northern Philippines had been also reporting this sort of Lilliputian hallucination from a locally collected wild mushroom. Now we have 3 independent cultures reporting the exact same phenomenon, and in 2 of them we've been able to verify it's the exact same species. Gives us very high confidence that there is some sort of chemical inherent within this mushroom. So we're really hopeful in potentially discovering a compound in this mushroom that can reliably elicit this effect to potentially open a window and shed some light on this otherwise mysterious and bizarre neurological condition.
Yeah, because people are the crowd is just clamoring for the ability to see tiny people. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nate's on.
Yes, here I am. In Highland Park, we've got a full closure on southbound 509 and Myers Way, where an investigation is underway following an earlier rollover crash. You're backed up on the East Marginal Way. No estimated time to reopen. One alternate route as drivers are taking is to remain on East Marginal Way, though that is filling in. But if you take that down to 14th Avenue South Bridge, that'll get you back over to Highway 99, and you can continue south that way. Northbound I-5, pretty solid between the Michigan Curve and the Ship Canal, 35 minutes through downtown Seattle. Linwood to Seattle, though, doing great, less than 25 minutes. Seattle and Bellevue to Everett are 55 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way take you 45. It's also 45 minutes from Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Skyline Seattle, senior living never sounded so good. We celebrate the arts and are building enviable cultural partnerships like the Ballardet Quartet from the Seattle Chamber Music Society and the Seattle Art Museum. We provide our residents all the energy Seattle offers. Make your home at Seattle's only true life care community. Culture has an address. Skyline. Discover it all at skylineseattle.org.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer zero down, zero interest, and zero payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A muumuu is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO News Radio app.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. It's going to be a stay-inside weekend for many across the U.S., especially down south with not just snow, but also ice. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
In Tennessee, we're particularly concerned with ice amounts from the freezing rain in southern, middle, and west Tennessee, where we do have an ice storm warning in effect. In North Texas, they're stocking up.
I wasn't sure what they would have in stock because I had heard horror stories about shelves and things being out. So I'm here stocking up for a good 4 days of groceries should we need it.
In Virginia, Governor Abigail Spanberger.
We are expecting large amounts of snowfall, freezing rain, and sleet.
Nearly half the U.S. population is under some sort of watch, warning, or alert.
Due to the Arctic blast forecast in the Midwest, Chicago Public Schools classes are canceled tomorrow. The House passes several spending bills as a deadline approaches ahead of another possible government shutdown.
On this vote, the yeas are 341 and the nays are 88.
And with that, the House has passed the final group of appropriations bills. They cover funding for the Departments of Defense, Transportation, Housing and Urban Development, Health and Human Services, Labor, Education, and other agencies. Passage came despite tensions over funding for the Department of Homeland Security and the actions of ICE officers, including the fatal shooting of a woman in Minneapolis. The bills now go to the Senate, which must pass them next week in order to avert a partial government shutdown at the end of the month. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Before leaving the World Economic Forum, President Trump has rolled out his Board of Peace to try to maintain a ceasefire in Israel's war with Hamas.
And to each and every one of you, we are truly honored by your presence today. Leaders of countries, in most cases very popular leaders, some cases not so popular, but that's the way it goes.
Notable absentees from the Board of Peace include France, Norway, and the UK. The European Union Council president says EU leaders have serious doubts about Trump's Board of Peace. A jury, finds a Chicago man not guilty of circulating a $10,000 bounty for the murder of top Border Patrol leader Gregory Bovino, who led a Chicago area immigration crackdown last year. Prosecutors alleged Espinoza Martinez used Snapchat to solicit the death of Bovino, but defense attorneys say Martinez didn't have that kind of money, and the messages amounted to neighborhood gossip. New research from Johns Hopkins University is trying to take a proactive approach when it comes to the increasing problem of space junk by tracking it. CBS News space contributor Christian Davenport.
Space, though very vast, it's getting more congested, and over time, there's going to be more of this stuff.
The research is in the journal Science. This is CBS News.
I'm Andrew Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Major outage at Microsoft. That's one story coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. And we've got a major issue down in Georgetown. In fact, a void heading south to the First Avenue South Bridge this afternoon in Highland Park. We've got a full closure on southbound 509 at Myers Way, where we have an investigation underway following an earlier rollover crash. You're backed up onto East Marginal Way. No estimated time for this to reopen. Meanwhile, drivers are being directed off and then back on the highway at Myers Way. All of our major surface the streets in Georgetown are packed as well, including Michigan Street, which jams up just as you exit from I-5. Heading into Seattle, North 5 is solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal. 40 minutes now to make it through this backup. Once you cross the Ship Canal Bridge, though, it's only 40 minutes into Everett. Bellevue to Everett just hit 1 hour. We're solid from Bellevue all the way to Canyon Park. Get a couple miles of clearing, and then it's slow again in Alderwood. Bellevue to Renton is a half-hour trip. It's solid starting at 5:20 all the way down to the Renton Landing. Tacoma to Olympia this afternoon, 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. There is an active manhunt underway in Federal Way where police say there was a double homicide at a home. KIRO 7 TV's Allison Amoy is at that scene.
Police say they did a welfare check just after noon today, and when they arrived, they found a couple dead. They don't know exactly how they died. Again, blunt force trauma is what they're telling us. The man and woman were in their 60s. Now they're looking for their son. Police are calling him a person of interest.
And that man is 35-year-old Mick Carmichael. You can see a picture of him at mynorthwest.com. The public will have to wait to see exactly what happened during an officer-involved shooting at the Bellevue Transit Center last month. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch explains that decision.
Bellevue Police Chief Wendell Shirley had requested the officer's body-worn camera video be released to the public. That request was sent to the King County Force Investigative Team, and after consulting with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, the decision was made to hold the video so as not to compromise an ongoing legal case. Here's Casey McNurthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
We don't want to hand the defense a possible argument that we were interfering with their trial rights. We want this felony case to move forward.
Prosecutors say the video can be released after the trial is over. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thousands of Microsoft users are running into trouble today with their email and work apps. Outlook and Teams went down late this morning. Microsoft says some users are getting server error messages and cannot send or receive email. Latest update from the company says repairs are underway. Service is being stabilized as quickly as possible. No surprise inside the Seahawks practice facility today when General Manager John Schneider was named Executive of the Year by the Football Writers of America. Head coach Mike McDonald praised Schneider's leadership.
On how he operates daily, and how he treats everybody in the environment that we've been able to create around here is just, I think that's helped our development of our people.
Hawks are now on the brink of reaching their third Super Bowl with Schneider as GM and fourth appearance overall as a franchise. For your weather update now, we are seeing cloudy skies tonight, some morning fog again tomorrow, sunny skies for Friday. Dry, sunny weather takes us through the weekend. Right now, 41 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KOZI, good morning to everybody. It's currently 9 o'clock in the morning, and let's go to the phone lines for our first caller. Line 1, how you doing this morning?
I'm alive. My heart's big. It's got hot blood going through it fast.
Okay.
I like to fight, too.
Gotcha.
Nice work, Andrew. Nice work. Rise and join that. I got Hey, it's KIRO Radio 97.3. You got a request?
Hey, take me all the way back to 1986. Let's ram it.
Yeah, we'll try to get Ram It on for you right now. Here comes the Rams and Ram It.
You ram it just right, you can ram it all night.
Look at it. Where's Nate?
Let's ram it right now with LA.
That's LA Rams with Ram It. You're listening to KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. Here comes. I don't have a post to hit. Hey, Rye Roller, how are you?
Good.
All right. I've given Rye 2 assignments. 1, get on the radio. 2, search for tickets.
Yes. Both of those I'm doing eagerly. So it's ridiculous, obviously. And it's also incredibly higher than the last time we played the NFC Championship.
Yes.
And not just inflation. Like, inflation only accounts for like $200.
Yeah.
It's like $800 to $900 more expensive across the entire across the whole board. So it's pretty much looking, if you want to sit in the lower bowl, because come on,
Come on.
Not going to do the drive for not. It looks like it would be about 2,300 to 2,400 if you want to sit, somewhere half decent.
You told me to sit front row, 50-yard line. You $8,000 a piece.
A piece, yeah, and that is like row A, so unbelievable seats.
Yes,
but isn't that insane?
Well, turning to your Uncle Joe over here, his advice to me a couple hours ago was,
"Hey, listen, if the last one was the greatest day of your life, might as well try to make another one." You spent money on worse things, and I know that
I have spent
fact.
money on worse things. I have. We don't need to go into that. Yeah. That's for the last show.
Yes, that's right.
The last show. All right, Roller, you are a huge fan of Mike McDonald. And it looked like Mr. McDonald, Coach McDonald, when did he say that? When did he give this speech? Was this like at the beginning of the season?
This is his first team meeting.
First team meeting. Here's what the coach said. First team meeting. Here we go. Going
back. We got everybody. Man, this is pretty awesome, huh, guys? This is awesome. We got a hell of a program ready for you guys. One of the things I want you guys to feel going through this program is that we have a vision for you and this football team.
Here we go, fastball!
But today, all right, I'm going to take you here now, so stay with me. I want us to just take a minute here and fast forward to January NFC Championship. It's 30-something degrees. All right, it's wet, it's windy. All right, shit. Okay, but it's just right for us. We're loose. We're focused. All right, we're confident. We just spent the last 9 months stacking every opportunity that we had to put us in that position.
I got one question. Do y'all feel it? This is what we said to best. Let them know that we the best in the world.
The team across from us in the other locker room, okay, they've seen the tape. They know what they're in for. 11 guys playing as one, every snap. They know that we're like that.
Fire to the end zone. Ball is caught.
They know that they're facing a bunch of men that won't give up. They know they'll face a team that won't die and won't quit. They know. It's inevitable. So let's go to work.
What are some of the characteristics about Mike McDonald that you really admire?
That made you cry?
No. I know. I need. No, I mean, in the middle of reading the thing, I'm thinking about it. I
would say one thing for all the garbage that the social media team for the Seahawks and the Mariners do. Just this, it's like they're just always trying to be trendy and hip.
Yeah,
it's always just makes me almost not even want to watch sports anymore. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And getting McDonald and that message, and he's talking about the ranks, we're like that. I think the characteristics are he is so no BS, and he's such a straight shooter. And he said today, actually, in his press conference, he's like, you're looking at a guy who didn't play. He didn't play. He played in high school. He was a fullback in high school. And he wasn't any good, and that's his words.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that when he's trying to impress, whether it's the scheme on these guys or whether it's the message, he knows it has to work. It has to click, because if it doesn't, they're going, who are you? You didn't play in the NFL, and the system you're running isn't working. And his ascension into what is now one of the best coaches in the NFL. He's still the youngest coach. He spent a few years as a graduate assistant at Georgia and was actually going to go enter the workforce as a salesman at KPMG or whatever, some tech, and was able to get into the back door of the Ravens, work his way up, just a meteoric rise. I mean, most times this takes 20, 30 years for coaches to eventually accumulate enough of a resume. Pretty much everybody circled him in that Baltimore organization was like, this guy's a genius. And it took only a few more years, went to Michigan, was the defensive coordinator, did a great job there, went back to Baltimore, and then put together one of the most aesthetically pleasing and just all around just beautiful defenses. In fact, when the Seahawks played the Ravens 3 years ago, it was Pete Carroll's final year, we played them and we got killed. and it was one of the worst Seahawks games I've ever watched. And players went to John Schneider after that game. And the Seahawks on offense that day were just anemic. It was awful. And players went to Schneider and said, if you do get rid of Pete, hire whoever their defensive coordinator is, because we have no idea what we just played against. So give you some idea about, like, this is really different. And I love the way he conducts himself with the media, as not being one of these coaches that loves to just sort of hear his own voice bounce off the back of the room, and he's going to impress you with his, oratorical prowess and the way he can sort of duck and dodge through questions. He's very humble, and I think sort of an introvert, which is cool for a person in that kind of position. I love him and what he's done with this defense in 2 years. And then last year, he cut halfway through the season our leading tackler, Dodson. He just cut him. And then we traded Baker, our second leading tackler. He was like, these guys aren't working out. I know that based off the numbers, we need them, but see ya, because they're not a part of this. And that's that kind of like foot down. He knows the direction, and he's got a lot of conviction. And I've really enjoyed the way we've flipped this franchise around so fast.
It's so important that the challenge for the coach is you're coming in to create a culture. If you have players that are left over from the other culture, that's a giant effort. Plus to inspire the new that are coming in to establish. And one of the knocks against Pete was, I had heard this from some players, that they had heard it so often. Like, all of his rah-rah stuff would work on young guys coming into the NFL. But the other guys were like, yeah, okay, whatever, right? They got tired of it. And maybe he had just sort of worn out his welcome. But the culture, and again, when you start winning, everybody buys in, right? Everyone's in. If you start losing, then you find yourself just looking for a job after one season, the number of coaches that get cut at the end because they can't get that in to work. So McDonald's work on defense, and then how does McDonald end up having the offense also function at such a high level?
Again, it was conviction in the identity of the football team he wanted to put on the field. We hire Ryan Grubb to be the offensive coordinator in 2024, which was sort of a baffling hire. It's like, I mean, you would expect with McDonald, the defensive-minded head coach, he's probably going to play a more conservative offense. Ryan Grubb is anything but conservative. He wants to air it out. And it really didn't work. And there was a difference in sort of psychological ideas of the way those guys were thinking about football and wanted to win football games. So what does McDonald do? The same thing he did to Baker and Dotson. You're done. Let me bring in a guy who's going to run the kind of offense I want, but I'm still going to give him a lot of freedom to sort of spread his wings a little bit. And Clint Kubiak, he's been so great this year, he's probably going to get a head coaching job. So it's just another ding, another A+, another check in the book for McDonald. And he's kind of the first to admit the offense it's not a blind spot for him, but it's something he's a little bit more hands off when it comes to like the real down by down, play by play, implementing, schematic decisions. They'll ask him about offensive plays, and he'll be like, I'm gonna be honest, I think when that play happened, I was still talking to my defensive guys, or I was still thinking about the defensive possession. He's so obsessed with defense.
Let me take you back to 2006, I think it was, when I was coaching.
Yeah.
And I was coaching you, and I said, if we have a strong defense, we can have a really mediocre offense. Because we can hold that other team to 0 or 7, then we don't have to do as much work.
Yeah, and I took that personally because I was the quarterback. We didn't do anything right. They talk about all three phases. I don't think we made a field goal all year. I don't think we got a punt off that wasn't blocked. Couldn't stop them, couldn't score on them. Other than that, we were
but while we're on the air, you want to call out a couple of the linemen that really let you down throughout the season?
If you're out there, Johnny Snook, I don't know what you're doing, and you were a really nice guy, and you were a good friend throughout my childhood. But
man, he could not contain the end.
Whenever I can't remember something, or something slips my mind, or I forget my keys, or I blame Johnny Snook because I took some hard hits that year. Gotta get off the line, man. Let's play with some violence. Throw those hands.
It was a play. We were scrimmaging the other team, and this coach from the other team was a horrible human being. And They, we're just scrimmaging. We're the red team. It's Eastlake. I don't know what color we were. I can't remember. And it was just a scrimmage. This kid busts through, probably past Johnny there, and wraps Rye up, right? So now Rye's arms are pinned down, and this kid picks Rye up and pile drives him, like his face right into the ground, right? And I'm like, come on, it's a scrimmage. And the other coach, guess what you doing? Right? And Rye's like, gets up. He's got all the dirt stuck up in the helmet, and he's crying. I'm like, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
I'm concussed.
We get in the huddle. What happened in the huddle?
Well, I mean, they went low. We went lower because we sent our biggest, strongest, fastest, most athletic kid on a crackback block, a split flow block that was really not something you would actually implement in a game, just to sort of completely decleat the kid that just took a cheap shot. And it did work. So we went concussion for concussion with the 8-year-old.
Shout out to who on that one?
Leroy Jackson.
I looked at him. I said, Jackson, look at me, Jackson, look at me. He was the nicest kid. I said, here's what's going to happen. We're going to let him in here. And as that kid comes through, you're going to come in from the side, and I need you to wipe him out. I want nothing left of him. Wow. Do you understand? Okay, Mr. Curley. Okay. Sweet justice. All right, Rye Roller, quick test for you. Ready?
10-year-olds.
6-year-olds. All right, here we go. I'm going to test you here. This is from the Seattle Times, so this they know what they're talking about. Testing your knowledge of Seahawks star receiver JSN finished in what place in receiving yards across the NFL this season? First, second, third, or fourth?
First, right?
That is correct. Including this season, how many times have the Seahawks made a conference title game? 5, 3, 4, or 6?
2005, 2013, 2014. Now 4, right?
The answer is 5. I'm sorry.
Conference title game? Oh, like 1980s, I think. We played we were in the AFC back then. Okay, my bad.
One last one for you. Who caught John Ryan's touchdown pass on a fake field goal against the Packers?
Oh, good one. I think Gary Gillian? Was that his name?
The answer is Gary Gillian.
Yes, Penn State. Yeah.
We are. Penn State. All right, final prediction for you, Rye Roller. Hit the music there, and this is getting serious because I'm not here tomorrow.
Okay, one quick thing before the prediction.
Yes.
Watch in the first half. I'm big about the first drive in the first quarter. All those starters, those opening plays. Watch how the Rams run the ball against our too high safety look. It's been this chess match all year in the first 2 matches. And I get it. They threw for 500 yards in the second game, and we couldn't stop Nakua, so it was kind of a wash anyway. But just watch to see how they run the ball, how the Rams run the ball, because this is really the headliner, right? It's going to be the number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense. If we can stop the run out of our too high look and play a gap and a half up front and tackle and don't give any leaky yards to Williams and Corum, their backs, that's going to bode massively. I don't care if they get a field goal. I don't care if they get a touchdown. If they're not running the ball well on us in the first quarter and throughout the second, that is going to be a huge thing. So watch for that. And then, of course, just monitor the left tackle situation as we get closer to game time, because if Charles Cross can't play, neither can his backup possibly. So Johnny Snook might be getting a phone call. So just we'll look out for the left tackle thing as we get closer to the game. The Seahawks win. I think it'll be high scoring again. 31-28. I'll see you in Santa Clara.
Yes. There he goes. Yes. There he goes. Mike, well done, Rye. Boy, a lot of shout outs.
Johnny Snook
and Jackson. All right, Rye. Love. There he goes. Out the door, Ryan Roller. You can take that to the bank, the prediction for the game. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
This one brought to us by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. Avoid heading south to the First Avenue South Bridge this afternoon. We've got a full closure on southbound 509 at Myers Way. An investigation is underway following an earlier rollover crash. So you're being detoured off at Myers Way. This will actually send you up the hill into White Center. It won't get you back onto 509. You'll want to exit at First Avenue prior to Myers Way and follow first. That'll get you back on to southbound 509. North 5 in Seattle, we're packed approaching approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. 35 minutes to make your way through downtown Seattle. Once you cross the Ship Canal Bridge, though, it's just 40 minutes into Everett. We do have building volumes through Northgate and Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 10. It is solid from mid-Bellevue all the way to Alderwood. Bellevue to Renton, a half-hour trip. It's solid from 520 to the Renton Landing. After Coal Creek Parkway, though, you'll start to thin out. Renton to Puyallup, southbound on 167. That's a 45-minute trip. And Seattle to Federal Way is down just a bit to 35 minutes. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, if you've got a bad hip, elbow, knee, wrist, shoulder, whatever it is, and you are staring down the knife of the surgeon, I'm sure it's a great surgeon. I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing. But just before they put you under, get up, get off the table, and run over. Look out for the back of the gown. Might be open. Go over and see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, because this guy has done 20,000 stem cell procedures. I'm one of them, so he's done 20,001. Fixed my hip. I've signed up for a 5K race. I'm going to be doing that. I hadn't run in 7 years because my hip was so bad. So I go see Wagner. He looks at the MRI, looks at the x-rays, and says, yeah, this is going to be good for you. And sure enough, it is. I'm telling you right now, if you've got a shoulder or an elbow, a wrist, knee, if you've ever used in a full sentence, hey, I got bone on bone, get fixed by getting Dr. Mark Wagner to look and see if a stem cell procedure is right for you. You can find him right there at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
If you've saved more than $300,000, you may have a big problem in retirement, and it's taxes. Taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security benefits, taxes on your investment income, and more. And when you add it all up, this could be your largest expense in retirement. That's why it's critical you get in front of this now. Hi, it's Charlie Harger. Discover the strategies that could significantly reduce your taxes in retirement with a free, customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, who has 2 locations in Seattle. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350. Don't overpay your taxes to the government. Call 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
Dayandnight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric.
DayandNight.net. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable. And I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/plan. That's trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The Pierce County Sheriff is now being advised to walk back one of his recent remarks. This after Keith Swank said his office would not hire non-citizens for law enforcement roles. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay explains.
A confidential legal memo obtained by the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM calls for Swank to publicly reverse the statement he made on X. Otherwise, the memo says, quote, "You and the county are at great risk of being sued and you may face legal consequences," end quote. Pierce County Prosecuting Attorney Mary Robnett says in Washington, it's against the law to discriminate against somebody based on their citizenship status.
When we are sued, we're on the hook for it.
Robnett tells KIRO News Radio what her office offered the sheriff in that memo was legal advice.
It's up to him whether he's going to follow that advice or not.
Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Swank argues federal law prohibits non-citizens from carrying firearms. The road to the Super Bowl runs straight through the Seahawks' rival, the LA Rams. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is asking an original season ticket holder what it all means to the 12s.
For superfan David Israel, being a 12 means more than most.
When you're down at the games with the rest of the fans, it's like one big family. Everybody loves everyone.
And he should know Israel became the youngest Seahawks season ticket holder when he was 3 years old.
My dad bought the tickets and he put them in my name.
He predicts the Hawks will win, and there's only one way to celebrate.
Family and friends, man. It's something special.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
We will find out tomorrow when light rail will take passengers across Lake Washington. Sound Transit is set to announce the opening date for the Cross Lake Connection, the long-awaited and behind-schedule extension linking Bellevue with Seattle. The agency will reveal the date at an event planned for 10 a.m. on Friday. US 2 between Coles Corner and Leavenworth could reopen in March. That's what the Washington Department of Transportation is aiming for after last month's storm closed that stretch of highway. WashDOT's Steve Rourke.
We've identified 50, think of these as work orders, emergency work orders. We've identified 50 sites that we are tracking and making repairs at.
Initial damages estimates are between $40 and $50 million. Governor Ferguson hopes that FEMA will cover most of that. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 432 and check in with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Emerald Queen Casino has the update. Good news in Highland Park. 2 lanes just reopened southbound 509 and Myers Way, where an investigation had this shut down for well over an hour. Just the HOV lane remains blocked at the seam. Heading through Seattle, North 5, it's packed approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. 35 minutes to make it through these backups. But once you cross the Ship Canal, it's just 40 minutes into Everett. You do have some scattered backups between Northgate and Linwood to get through. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 10-minute commute. You're solid approaching 520 all the way to the Alderwood interchange. And then from there, of course, you'll join the North 5 backup. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, a half hour on 520. Got a solid backup from mid-span over to I-5. 25 minutes on I-90. You're slow from the Mercer Tunnel over to I-5, but you're moving at a good pace here. Bellevue to Renton, plan on a half hour. The backup starts at 520, doesn't let up till you get all the way down to the Renton landing. After Coal Creek, though, it starts at thin out. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 45-minute commute. Seattle to Federal Way, 35. And Tacoma to Olympia, a 45-minute commute. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And now to your forecast. Cloudy skies tonight, morning fog tomorrow, sunshine for Friday, and then sunny skies take us through the weekend. Right now, 40 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News starting at 4. When you need to stay plugged in and connected, they've got you. Live breaking news so you know what's happening now. Investigations and in-depth coverage to get you answers. Weather on the way to help you prepare. Bringing the day's biggest stories into focus so you know more. Watch KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 only on KIRO 7 TV.
Well said, well read.
Thank you.
Is she getting lower? Am I getting higher? What's going on over here? Who did this to the microphone? It's all hinky bob here.
They lowered the monitor, which is a good thing. Yes,
that.
so you don't have to get so high unless you want to.
Well, look at Aaron's all jealous.
Yeah, they didn't do that to my computer yet.
Oh, now you're going to start crying?
No, I don't care.
Well, your camera is above the monitor.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You know what you need to do?
Terrible
You need to take the car to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's Auto Service Center, 16 locations, been around for 50 years. Take the car over to Buc-ee's Auto Service Centers.
We missed a good Buc-ee's song opportunity.
This thing's not rocking.
Are you kidding?
What, you kidding me?
It's funky.
You want to hear something rocking? Take it to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's will ram it. Okay. Stop. All right.
Get to the news, man.
Big Davos, right? Davos. So there's hours and hours and hours and hours of video and all these different world leaders up there talking, and this Macron with his weird glasses on. Did he explain why the glasses on, the blue glasses? He looks like somebody from Blue Steel or that.
Didn't explain it to me.
Somebody said that that his wife punched him. I don't know. Anyway, so Howard Lutnick gets up to speak. So Lutnick goes to speak. Now, he's the Commerce Secretary. And he basically lays out, and I'll play the whole cut for you. It's a little long, but it's certainly worth. He is just going right at the heart of the whole idea of globalization. And this is where, when Trump talks about America first, and here is Howard. And by the way, I think they had a dinner after this speech, after this little group that were all talking, and some people walked out. There was some booing, and it didn't go well. But here's Howard getting a chance to speak about how globalization has failed. This is your Commerce Secretary.
We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point. Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind. And what we are here to say is that America First is a different model, one that we encourage other countries to consider, which is that our workers come first. We can have policies that impact our workers. Sovereignty is your borders. You're entitled to have borders. You shouldn't offshore your medicine. You shouldn't offshore your semiconductors. You shouldn't offshore your entire industrial base and have it be hollowed out beneath you. You should not be dependent for that which is fundamental to your sovereignty on any other nation. And if you're going to be dependent on someone, it darn well better be your best allies. Okay? And so that is a different way of thinking. It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as not a flagpole.
West?
The WEF, the World Economic Forum.
Yes, okay, got it.
In the middle. But in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar, you should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would Europe agreed to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery. They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be subservient to China, who makes the batteries.
By the way, Macron got up, I think, before Ludnick and said that we need to talk to China and we need to work with China and China needs to invest and we need to be with China. Ludnick's like, what, are you kidding me? Why? They don't. First of all, you're not going to see Xi Jinping. Xi is not going to be there. He wouldn't show up at this thing. He's just waiting for everybody to buy stuff from China. If you want everybody to buy stuff from China, they will own you. Because Trump even sort of plays it out right after.
Here in Europe, we've seen the fate that the radical left tried to impose on America. They tried very hard. Germany now generates 22% less electricity than it did in 2017. And it's not the current chancellor's fault. He's solving the problem. He's going to do a great job. But what they did before he got there, I guess that's why he got there. And electricity prices are 64% higher. The United Kingdom produces just 1/3 of the total energy from all sources that it did in 1999. Think of that, 1/3. And they're sitting on top of the North Sea, one of the greatest reserves anywhere in the world.
Guess who was most upset about these two comments? Al Gore. Old Al Gore with his $300 million and his 14,000 square foot home and his private jets. Very, very upsetting. Germany's economy is clunking along. GDP 1.2%. It's the lowest. When they decommission nuclear power plants and then starting to rely on green energy, the price of energy there in Germany has gone from about 800 euros a year to 2,300. So guess what people are doing to heat their homes in Germany? Firewood. They're burning firewood. And the price of wood has gone up almost 4 times because people are like, how can we heat the home? Let's go buy firewood. People are stealing and going into the woods and cutting down firewood because they want to burn it. And the same thing has happened in the UK. And there's a fun little story in the New York Times about how chimney sweeps are back in England. Why? Because people are burning wood. I think, and I'm trying to remember this number from a long time ago. I think it was during the Battle of Gettysburg. I think a cord of wood was going for $24. I think I remember that from a book called Washington Goes to War. I think that was the number. So the people in Germany and England are burning wood to heat their homes because it's somewhat cheaper than energy that is probably and primarily coming from oil and natural gas. So Ludwig is saying, look, you want to go with green stuff? First of all, while you put yourself on a 2030 deadline for this was ridiculous. And why you decided to decommission nuclear so that you could go with all green energy. And by the way, all your green energy, all your batteries, your windmills, and all your other garbage you think is going to be able to provide the energy for an industrial nation coming from China. So he's just sort of laying it out there. So Al Gore went to this dinner and booed Ludwig, and a bunch of other people walked out. So that's kind of the spat going on. But they bought all into the green energy idea, and now they're paying for it. And the people in Germany and England, and Germany even admits we do not have enough energy in order to produce an industrial base, in order to have jobs, in order to build things. We're fading away at 1% GDP. I think it dropped. I forget the percentage it dropped in the last 6, 7, 8 years. Did you find it? Was a cord of wood $24?
$4 during the Battle of Gettysburg, but that's an insane amount of money.
Yes. I don't know where you get that from. 4. Thank you for that. Yeah. Can you imagine what that is now? Joe's going to do that quick. Yeah. Al Gore very upset. Oh, Al, and all your predictions were so right. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
That's $350 a cord of wood in today's.
There we go. Thank you, Nate.
Yep.
Northwest Hope and Healing has our update. In Highland Park, we just reopened a couple lanes, southbound 509 at Myers Way, about 25 minutes ago after it was shut down for well over an hour while an investigation was underway. Now just the HOV lane remains blocked at the scene. Heading through Seattle, North 5, we're packed coming around the Michigan curve up to the Ship Canal Bridge. Of course, Revive I-5 has 2 lanes blocked on the bridge. 35 minutes to make it through this backup. Once you cross the Ship Canal, though, it's only 40 minutes into Everett from there. We do have building volumes between Northgate and Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, hour 10. It's solid from 520 all the way to the Alderwood interchange. Everett's looking great, though. Just minor slowing northbound between Broadway and 41st. Everett to Marysville, less than 10 minutes. Bellevue to Renton, about 35 minutes now. It's solid starting at 520. You won't catch a break till you get into Renton, but after Cold Creek Parkway, it starts to thin out. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 45-minute drive, and Tacoma to Olympia up just a little bit to 50 minutes. Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support. An afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration. Get your tickets now for January 31st at nwhopeandhealing.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Are you nearing retirement? Are you ready for retirement? You know what it's going to cost you? John Curley here from Madrona Financial. Retirement isn't just about income. It's about avoiding the big mistakes, the blind spots that hurt so many. Are you sitting on a solid savings? That's good. But do you have a real plan for the dynamic, volatile market that could be ahead? Taxes and healthcare and inflation. Even with reasonable growth, all three of these can just wreck your retirement if you ignore it. So knowledge is power. And Matt Beyer and Madrona Financial and CPAs have a free virtual retirement planning workshop coming up on Tuesday on the 27th of January at 6:30 p.m. You can attend from the comfort of your own house. Bring your spouse along, have her sit on the couch or have him sit on the couch and get ready for this. It is a complete retirement plan. What it should look like, not just a portfolio, but a complete plan. You can RSVP, and you can even get yourself an email. Zoom link will be coming to you. It's going to be on Tuesday, the 27th of January at 6:30. It's on Zoom. RSVP. Call 833-673-7373. That's 833-673-7373. Online. Find them at madronafinancial.com/events. RSVP 833-673-7373.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
We're really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
For almost 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me, John Curley here. If comfort and energy savings matter to you, now is the time. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Home Comfort Alliance will replace your system with one tailored to your home's layout and energy optimization. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com to save up to $2,000 on a Lennox and schedule a free consultation. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the Comfort People, Home Comfort Alliance.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
If you've been putting off retirement conversations because you're worried it's going to turn into a sales pitch, you're not alone. Hi, Ursula Reutin here. At Trajan Wealth, the focus starts with listening. Their advisors are fiduciaries, which means they're bound to put your needs first, and that changes the tone right away. No pressure, no promises, they're not working off commissions, and they're not pushing any specific products. With Trajan Wealth, it's about understanding where you are and having a clearer sense of what your options look like. Trajan Wealth is veteran-owned and works with families who want thoughtful guidance that fits real life. Start the new year off right with a game-changing financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth today to figure out how to make your New Year's resolution stick. Trajan, spelled Trajan. Call 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive, too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host PAC.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
All right. Joe has tracked down tickets for sale.
That's right. Doug and Mill Creek has a good deal for you.
We should try to get him on. We come on the radio. Why is he selling them?
I don't know. A lot of people are selling them. Maybe he needs the money.
It's a Seahawks game.
Times are tight.
Okay. Good. Let's see if we get on the radio to talk about it. I normally stay away from list stories, but this isn't one definitive, but the most promiscuous country as ranking varied by study. By recent reports, the 2026 Global Promiscuous Index by the NAP Lab / World Population. How do they figure this out?
I can tell you.
Okay, how?
So the Global Promiscuity Index is based on the average age that people lost their virginity and the average number of sexual partners.
And are people honest about that? Because men tend to lie and women tend to lie.
I think if it's an anonymous survey, you give.
So then you lie even more.
Why would you lie? Come on. They don't lie in Australia or in Brazil. And
so number one, Australia. Number two is Brazil, right?
Yep.
And then was it number? And then Greece gets in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Figured you could relate to that a little
Congratulations. Andrew, that's not funny.
Come on.
That's not funny.
United States, by the way, came in 12th.
What do you mean I can relate to that? Why, sir, I heard that.
You have a Greek
I married
wife.
a Greek woman.
I know.
And I called her on the phone during the commercial break. I said, she goes, well, I'm not, that doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised we're number 3.
See?
Yeah. And I said, why? She goes, oh, there are the Greeks and the Romans are always, everybody even do. They love football.
Weather's great.
Yeah, weather. Turkey also appears high in the partner number. China and India rank low due to cultural norms. Yeah. And the U.S. isn't even on the list?
No, they're there. We're 12th, I believe. Yes, 12th.
I saw an interesting study, like at what number of partners does the woman have to...
Heard it, move on.
Okay, never mind that. Okay, fine. Screw you. Get on the list if you want. All right, here's Nate.
No, hey, I want to hear it.
No, it was the question was what number of partners does the woman have to say for the man to go? At what number does the guy go, what? Whoa. Right? Like, what? Hell?
Oh, not get it.
Never mind.
What's your number, John?
I don't. You know what? Hey, here comes traffic. Nate
Alrighty. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Nothing too unusual going on out there. North 5 in Seattle. It's packed starting just around the Michigan curve up to the Ship Canal. Plan on 40 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. Again, once you cross the Ship Canal Bridge, it's just 40 minutes into Everett. Bellevue to Everett, we've improved to a solid hour, solid between 520 and 522. Really thick through Kirkland. And then after 522, it's off and on, slowing into Alderwood. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, half hour on 520. You're going to jam up mid-span. 25 minutes on I-90. Bellevue to Renton is a half-hour trip. You're solid from 520 all the way to the Renton Landing, but after Cold Creek Parkway starts to thin out just a bit. And now northbound 405, we're heavy from South Center all the way past the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue is up to a half hour. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing at SubaruPuyallup.com and enjoy a stress-free buying experience at Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, and you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Wait. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You don't want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Heavy snow, ice, and brutal cold are expected to make a storm a potentially life-threatening weather event for a huge portion of the country, 35 states from the plains to the Midwest, down south, and up to the Northeast. Tina Dandridge works in downtown Chicago, which is expecting the coldest weather since the 2019 polar vortex.
I'm done. I'm done for today. This was it.
How has the weather been for you the last couple of days?
Brutal. I decided to try to make my compliance days. Since
you got to work in the
We're
in the
hybrid,
office.
yeah, so we're supposed to come in a couple days a week.
CBS's Jason Allen is in Texas.
The lines in the road, it's almost a white dusty on the lanes. That's just from all of the brine that they have been drenching this road surface with. And that's their best protection here. We don't have the plows like you're going to have to the north. Just here in Fort Worth, they've only got like 30 sand trucks to handle all of the city of Fort Worth, a city of more than 1 million people.
Ice is expected to accumulate along the southern side of the storm's track. Vice President J.D. Vance stops in Minneapolis amid pushback over ICE arrests in the area. He blames state and local officials for the chaos.
A lot of these guys are unable to do their jobs without being harassed, without being doxxed, and sometimes without being assaulted. That's totally unacceptable.
Vance made his comments after taking part in a roundtable with local leaders and community members. President Trump is lashing out at former Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith, who has testified before Congress.
Jack Smith was appointed to lead 2 criminal investigations involving Donald Trump, one on election interference, the other on the then former president's handling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Now in his second term, President Trump has renewed his attacks against Jack Smith. On social media, he called him, quote, a deranged animal who shouldn't be allowed to practice law, unquote. Jack Smith dropped his investigations when Trump returned to office, following a Supreme Court ruling stating a sitting president could not be prosecuted. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
House Republicans have barely defeated a Democrat-backed war powers resolution. It would have prevented President Trump from sending U.S. military forces to Venezuela. President Trump returned home today after his trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. While there, he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports.
He announced, not President Trump,
President Zelensky announced that there are going to be these trilateral talks for the first time since the war started 4 years ago in the UAE starting Friday, continuing on Saturday. Technical talks, which means you're not going to see Zelensky there and Putin there and President Trump there, but that their emissaries are going to be there to meet for the first time, all sitting around one table.
This is
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, an active manhunt in Federal Way. But first, Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And this one's brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino, North 5 through Seattle. You're packed starting just around the Michigan Curve all the way across the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 40 minutes to make it through this backup. Again, once you get across the Ship Canal, though, it's only 40 minutes into Everett. Bellevue to Everett, we're down to a solid hour, and it's packed between 520 and 522. From there, it's scattered backups into Alderwood. Still really thick there through Kirkland. South 5 heading into Seattle. You're crowded from Northgate to I-90. It gets pretty thick about Northeast 50th. Linwood to Seattle, though, is just 20 minutes. A little more slowing in Linwood to get through. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, right around 25 to 30 minutes on both of our bridge routes. Bellevue to Renton is going to take you a half hour. It's solid from 520 all the way to the Renton Landing. After Cold Creek, it starts to thin out. Northbound 405 is heavy from South Center up to the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue is at a half hour. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're at 45 minutes. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Right now, Federal Way police are investigating a double fatal homicide. A couple in their 60s was found dead. Their adult son is a person of interest. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
It was just before noon when Federal Way police responded to a home near Southwest 337th Street and 7th Place Southwest for a welfare check. They found the couple deceased inside the home and quickly developed their son, 35-year-old Mick Carmichael, as a person of interest. They've been searching for him ever since. Please see a picture of Carmichael at mynorthwest.com and call 911 if you see him or know of his whereabouts. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Microsoft is trying to fix an active outage that is impacting several services, including email. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Ming-Lavin reports.
Thousands of people reporting issues accessing Microsoft 365 services, including Outlook and Teams. So this started around 3 o'clock. People are still reporting issues right now. Microsoft released a statement on X saying affected infrastructure was restored, but some are still reporting issues.
Turn the volume up to 12. There was a new unofficial anthem for the Seahawks playoff run.
12 as one, you know how we do it. Better bring your hard hat when you can illuminate.
That is Seattle rapper Dre's. He's the man behind the song called The Dark Side. He tells KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula.
What's dope about this track, too, is it's being embraced everywhere. Like, they played it at the stadium like 8 times last week.
I love it.
It's going to be on blast again this week.
Dark Side is the nickname for the Hawks defense. Listen to the full track on mynorthwest.com. Oscar nominations came out this morning. There's one big local connection.
There were once passageways to the old world.
That's the movie Train Dreams. It was filmed across several cities in Washington. Set in the early 1900s Northwest, it picked up 4 nominations, including Best Picture. Now to your forecast. Increasing clouds tonight, fog tomorrow, and then sunny skies set for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Hawks game day. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line.
Oh, good.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? I can't read it. There's no words on it. Thing sucks. We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Poor Bill O'Reilly.
Never gets old.
Apparently he has a medical condition that's sort of serious, so shame on you, Andy. I'll teach you for putting me on the board for leaving my mic on.
Oh, who's in the lead for 2026?
2026, I think I've
Joe's in the lead. He's only done it twice.
Wait, what?
Who's in the lead for screwing up and leaving the mic on?
Are you talking about lead as in who's doing the best, as in who's done it the least?
No,
we don't care about that.
We don't care about that. John has done it 3 times this year. Joe's done it twice this year.
Oh, how about Aaron?
Never.
He's a professional. Look it up in the book. Dive into the news. But I got a lot of stuff I got going on. I got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with here. I got my tea, my pen.
I saw you got a pencil.
I did. I had a pencil. Started doing this annoying new thing doing that.
Where did that pencil come from? I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Right over there.
Did you talk to Doug?
No, I didn't call Doug.
You better seal that deal.
Doug, are you listening? Is he listening?
Probably.
Let's look. You don't want to say his last name, do you?
He's Doug in Mill Creek.
Okay, Doug in Mill Creek. Here he's right there. Yes, for tickets. I'll buy them from you.
All right.
There you go. And by the way, this is partly because if you wouldn't encourage me to do this, I would not have done this. I would have just let it go and Rise stay there in Lake Chelan.
It's you got to do it.
I know. I kept thinking,
If you hadn't wasted more money than that on other dumb things.
Hollywood, Dark City Club. If you throw it my way, it's gonna get rough. I like to ram it, as you can see. Nobody likes ramming any more than that.
Ram it.
So I will. So Doug, I'll buy the tickets. So we'll go offline and we'll get the money over to you. Make sure it's all legal.
It's above board, yeah.
Doesn't Bob Ferguson want some of that money?
Nope.
Okay. Andrew, please put that thing on so you can function, keep ongoing tally of my blood pressure on this story, okay? Just.
You want me to mark it down every time your face turns that shade of red?
Oh, my God. Okay. Let's go historically. Mob rule. What they react to, how mobs react, the suspicion, paranoia, symbolism, rumor, intimidation. This is all part of mobs. History repeats itself when people don't remember how history is. So we'll go all the way back, 1789. The Great Fear. Rumor spread. There was in the spring. The harvest was not good. The summer was not good, and the peasants there were concerned. The nobles, they had heard from somebody. Someone told someone that the nobles were going to start to rise up and go around. They're going to let all these prisoners out, and they're going to come out and kill all the nobles. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to destroy all of the harvest. They're going to get rid of all the food, all the stores, and then at that point, they're going to just starve us to death. That was the rumor that was spread. There was absolutely zero fact behind any of it. But what did they do? Then all of a sudden, the peasants said they started roaming around. They got any kind of implement that they could find. They started looking around for these prisoners who were supposed to be let out into the jails and then into the streets. And they were all of a sudden going to just start destroying all the food. And they were all going to starve to death. And they were looking around for these people, the brigands they were called. Well, it turns out they couldn't find any of them. Where are they? I don't know. Let's go to the nobles' houses. They go to the nobles' houses. They killed a few nobles, but not many. But what they did is they destroyed a whole bunch of paperwork. They got rid of the records that showed how much the peasants owed the nobles in the feudal system that was in place at the time. Okay. So it kept growing and growing and growing. And then you would have stuff like somebody would say that the baker did not sell us the bread. So a whole bunch of people went to the baker. Well, before they went to the baker, this woman went in and went to the baker's house to find out, did he have any bread? She finds out that he had 3 loaves, but they were about a week old. They were so stale, he wasn't going to sell them anyway. She goes out and tells a bunch of the peasants that he's hoarding bread from us. So they go into the baker's house. They pull him out. They torture him. They cut his head off. They put it on a stake, and they march it around. The woman who had said that she saw that the bread was there, she was pregnant at the time. She passes out. She comes to, and she comes to as they're pressing the lips of the dead baker's head onto her lips. So the mob had formed. They didn't know where anybody was. They weren't sure, but they had heard that this and that and this and this were all happening. Now let's flash forward to Minneapolis. Here's a guy, let's see, which one to start with? Here's a guy who just happens to be driving an SUV that's white that looks like something that maybe ICE would be driving. So then these people run up on him.
There, like I said, I don't have to do this. I'm happy to do this.
So he says, I'm happy to do this. I'll open the back of my truck and I'll show you I'm not ICE.
That's all. We just got to stop this.
So he's got a lot of camera equipment. I think we can say this isn't ICE.
Yeah, I'm not. I tried to tell the First Lady the Chief. Nobody believes me. That's all I can do is tell you. I already listen, first of all, I don't have to do any of that, but I'm kind.
He rented the thing. He rented it. He's driving around, and this mob stops him because they think he might be ICE.
I respect what you are doing.
Listen to the advice that one of these social justice warriors says to him.
Yeah, no. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I just don't understand the job, and I don't know how to do it.
Were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're here yesterday. So these are citizens that are now investigating why the guy's driving this white van that he rented.
Here yesterday, I can testify that. I didn't recognize him.
No, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
I'm not here to help you.
No,
I think the fact that you're in a vehicle like this at this time is...
But with all due respect to everybody, I can't help what I drive.
Well,
I can't help what I drive.
you can. You can go rent something else.
Yeah, you can go rent something else. So this is the social justice warrior. Most of them, about 2/3 of them, make more than $150,000 a year. They have graduated. They've got graduate degrees. There's an entire study on who these people are. They tend to be white. A lot of females out there, and they're out there, and they're going to make sure that, you know, what car are you driving? They're suspiciously looking around for ICE. Here's a guy that's beaten by the crowd because they think he's ICE. They knock this guy to the ground.
Wait a minute. Let him up. Police.
Let him up. Because why?
Let him up. Okay.
And then they found out, wait a minute, he's one of us.
That's all they asked. Watch out. He's one of us.
Oh.
He's one of them. He's one of us. Okay, good. I'm one of them. You all right, dude? You all right? Come on. He's one of us. How do we know? How do we know?
Yeah, how do we know? He might not be one of us. Let's get him. But this goes on and on and on. Here's the guy that's just walking down the street. He has a American flag sort of shirt thing on over top of his jacket. It's cold out, and the mob can't have him. Take it off. Take off your clothes. Take off your shirt that you're wearing because we don't like it.
Take it off. You're not going to. Take it off if you are hurt. Take it off.
Yeah, take your shirt off.
Take it off. He gave you a chance. There you go. I got you. You're good. Get your up out of here.
Okay, now we'll let you go on from there. So in France during the Revolution, the nobles wore breeches that went up to their knees. And if you were on the right side, if you were part of the peasant class that was rising up, you wore longer pants. So the difference, like, you know, in baseball, some guys wear the ones that the long socks, and others wear the long. So if you were wearing breeches and it went to your knee, well, you're gonna die. This is a mob mentality on the streets of America today in 2026. Running around, grabbing people. Is that car? Well, you part of ICE. So here we go now, a local story. So this story you might remember from a couple days ago. The report was, by time the local news had it, I think at like 4 o'clock, whenever it was, we broke it at 4. I think it broke at 3:30, that there was a report that they were suspicious. They thought ICE were at some of these schools. I think it was like 5 or 6 schools or something like that. And there they all were. There was the local news cameras out there that the kids are on lockdown. And this is important because there might be an ICE. There were reports there were ICE unmarked vehicles. Somebody had made the call. So all the news departments are all out there. Oh, the kids are on lockdown. ICE might be out here. But the problem was the fact that the schools knew just around 12 o'clock that ICE was not there. They knew that it was a false alarm. They knew whoever called it in misidentified the car, and it wasn't ICE. They knew it at 12 o'clock. The kids had been locked down. They just kept it locked down. But the news, they didn't tell you that. No, they're on there. Oh, my God, the kids are on lockdown. There is report that ICE might have been seen somewhere near the school. They knew it. They knew it. They knew it before, or they didn't bother asking, and they didn't bother reporting it. So they presented it like the ICE was seen in the area. The kids are on lockdown because the kids can't get, we don't want ICE going into the schools when ICE has never gone into the schools. They're not allowed to go into the schools. They can't go to the churches. But the news departments were like, oh, yeah, the kids are on lockdown because there's report of ICE. But yet the schools knew at noon that it was not ICE, that it was a false alarm. But they didn't say it. They didn't say it until like the next day, or they tried to do a little backup on the thing. The worst offender of the story was the Seattle Times, but you can imagine that. But the other ones were like, oh, yeah, ICE was seen. The kids are on lockdown. Everybody's concerned. Then they talked to some kid coming out of there going, yeah, I'm really concerned about my friends. But the news knows if it bleeds, it leads, and they want to be able to gin all this sort of stuff up. They want all of this. They don't tell you, they don't bother telling you that legally the federal government and ICE are not allowed in the schools, they're not allowed in churches, they're not allowed to do that. The one somebody jumped on in the very beginning of the show and said, oh yeah, well what about the ICE went to the school? ICE went to arrest somebody. The guy got in a car and drove 4 miles an hour in a high-speed chase that ended up at a school, not going into the school. But news just wants to run every single story they possibly can and not give any other additional information to give the other side. 93% of the stories, this is from newsbusters.org, 93% of the stories that are done on ICE, every single one of them is negative. Every single one, except for 7% for whatever that one leaks through. But, boy, if you look at 2016, I watched a story from CNN. We went out onto the streets with the team for deporting illegal immigrants or undocumented, whatever they call them. It was all about how they do it, right? And then you see Obama talking about how we need to get illegal immigrants out of the country, and corporations have to stop hiring them, and business have to stop hiring them. And Hillary Clinton said the same thing. They all said the same thing. But man, this is because of Trump. They all hate Trump. But if you look at the numbers, Bush had more turnarounds. Obama had more turnarounds. Clinton had a whole bunch of turnarounds as well, and a whole bunch of deportation. In fact, Trump hasn't even hit the number he was hoping to hit, but because it's Trump. It's the whole thing. And shame on the media. If they had known that it was a false alarm and by noon the cops had told the schools there was no ICE, that is the media. They ask, was it real? No. Did you find out? Yeah. What time? We found out at noon, but they didn't report that. If they didn't report it, that's either bad journalism, sloppy journalism, or they're admitting the fact with the intent of bias. It's just terrible. But it is a mob mentality. Somebody walking down the street in Minneapolis that just happens to have a red shirt on with an American flag, go get that guy. Or the poor sap that rented a car from Hertz that looked like it might have been an ICE vehicle. So a bunch of morons are surrounding him and like demanding to look at the back. The guy was nice enough to look at the back of the thing. Yeah, we're not so sure we trust you. Who are you? What are you doing out there? Is there any other one I missed? Who's this guy? The activist, the guy walking out with a... Yeah. This one. It's cold outside. This guy just happens to be walking on the streets all wrapped up in a jacket. It might be a camo-looking jacket. And then, here we go.
Where you going? Huh? Are you ICE? No. Do you like ICE? Say ICE! Say it! Say it!
He's just walking down the street, and a bunch of these morons chasing after him.
You're a mom's a Say it!
That's like the French Revolution. Let's go and get the baker. The baker had 3 loaves of bread. They were all stale. He couldn't sell them. He wasn't going to sell them. But let's go in. Let's pull him out of his house. Let's cut his head off. Let's put it on a spike. Let's run around. We haven't gotten to that point. God forbid we get to the point where we have citizens shooting other citizens, or God forbid you start shooting ICE. We've already had it a couple of times. There have been shots taken at these. But it's a basic war on the street based upon, as I said before, suspicion, paranoia, symbolism, rumor, intimidation. these are the elements when it comes to what happens with mobs. And basing it on just rumor, we saw it in Seattle, and paranoia and symbolism, all of it. And I'm not saying that ICE is doing everything right. I'm sure it's a very difficult job when you have people screaming at you. And I'm sure also some of these guys are a little too aggressive. But let's face it, this is a federal law, and they are part of the federal government to enforce our rules when it comes to immigration and deportation. You don't like it? Too bad. But if you're going to have a sanctuary city, it's going to make it even that much difficult for them to be able to get people that shouldn't be in the country. But this stuff that's happening in Minneapolis is nuts. I hope it doesn't come to Seattle. What? What are you looking at me like that for?
I wasn't even looking at you.
I said we can't even look at me. I'm going to look at you for a minute.
Yeah. I hope they don't come to Seattle, too.
We're going to get groups of people out there asking to see the back of somebody's car. Oh, my God. How's my blood pressure? I'm normally 180 over 65.
We got to get a blood pressure monitor.
Omron.
You're a little red. You're a little burgundy.
Oh, God. Let me put my glasses back on.
There you go.
Oh, nice glasses.
Thank you, Nate. Thanks for buying them. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
This one's brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino, North 5 into Seattle. You're packed approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. No surprises here. Plan on 35 minutes to make it through this backup. Again, once you get across the Ship Canal, it's just 35 minutes into Everett as we're starting to already thin out north of Seattle. Now, northbound 99, a good alternate route for you, but it's packed from the stadiums up to South Lake Union. Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 50 minutes. Still heavy between 520 and 527 in Canyon Park. You'll catch a brief break, and then we're heavy again in Alderwood, really thick in Kirkland. South 5, crowded from Northgate to I-90, gets thick at 520. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes max. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're right around a half hour on both 520 and I-90. Bellevue to Renton has gone up to 40 minutes. It's solid from 520 all the way to 112. And North 405, it's heavy from South Center to the VMAC. For some reason, WashDOT has closed the off-ramp to Northeast 44th for what they're saying is road work. I'm assuming it's emergency work. Otherwise, this is terrible timing. South Center to Bellevue has just climbed to 45 minutes. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hey, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made when it comes to my eyes. I was wearing glasses, oh my gosh, every year to get another prescription. I finally go to see Dr. Kopstein. He's over at a place called K2 Vision RLE, is in Tukwila. And he says, listen, I look at your eyes. So different prescriptions. I said, yeah, I read the eye chart. He goes, yeah, it's not so good. Let me take a look. He puts this machine in front of me. He said, man, your eyes, wow. Well, this is going to work for you. He said, I might have told you to come back in 10 or 15 years if it wasn't going to give you great results, but this is going to give you great results. What is it? RLE, refractive lens exchange. A procedure took about 5 minutes in one eye, 5 on the other. And I walk out of there, go back in the next day. 20/20 vision. 20/20 vision. I had my eyes tested the other day. Still have 20/20 vision. So if you are over the age of 50, you don't want to wear readers, no more glasses and contacts, and you're concerned about a cataract, you've got to go see Dr. Kopstein over there. K2visionrle.com. They've got all great doctors. They're all there. Kopstein was my guy. K2visionrle.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle police are asking 12s to be on the lookout for ticket scalpers before Sunday's NFC Championship game versus the Rams. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
SPD Detective Brian Pritchard tells me they're worried. For big games, fans tend to be willing to pay bigger bucks for tickets, and scammers prey on that.
Never send payments through like gift cards, wire transfers, or peer-to-peer payments.
Instead, buy from a reputable business like SeatGeek or Ticketmaster, and always ask to verify the seat or section number and the date on the tickets before you pay. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Update on a key injury for the Seahawks. One of their starting offensive linemen, Charles Cross, is improving after suffering a foot injury in Saturday's win. Head coach Mike McDonald.
Yeah, Charles is good. You know, we'll see how today goes, but we're optimistic for the game, but just working through his foot.
And McDonald says QB Sam Darnold had a good day at practice. He was limited, but remains on track to play Sunday as he recovers from that oblique strain. Tragedy hit Mount Rainier National Park, where 2 people died while climbing. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun reports their bodies were recovered near Wilson Glacier.
Officials say rangers started searching Saturday after the climbers' permits were overdue and contacts reported them missing. Their vehicles were found in the Paradise parking lot. Harsh weather kept helicopters grounded, but ground crews finally reached the motionless climbers Tuesday. Authorities will release their names and causes of death when they're ready.
The longest actively serving Democrat in the Washington legislature is about to end his career. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reports.
81-year-old Democratic State Senator Steve Conway, described by the Washington State Standard as a liberal lion and unapologetic voice for labor, told his colleagues on Wednesday that the 2026 session will be his last.
And I can tell you, it was a hard decision.
He tells the Standard he's retiring to spend more time with his family. Conway serves the 29th District in Pierce County. He first won a special election to the House in 1993, then a Senate seat in 2010. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
5:33 now. We go to the real-time traffic desk with Nate Connors.
This one brought to us by Subaru of Puyallup. North 5 in Seattle. It's packed back starting at the Michigan Curve again across the Ship Canal Bridge. So this has added a few minutes to our commute time through downtown Seattle. Plan on 40 minutes. Again, once you cross the Ship Canal Bridge, it breaks free pretty quickly, just 35 minutes into Everett from there. Northbound 99 remains packed from the stadiums to South Lake Union. Bellevue to Everett, we're at 50 minutes. It's solid between 520 and 527. You'll catch a little break before you enter another backup there in Alderwood. South 5 is crowded from Northgate to I-90. You're close to freeway speeds till you hit 520. It jams up there. Linwood to Seattle, though, is just 20 minutes max. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, we're right around a half hour on both bridge routes. Bellevue to Renton's 40 minutes. It's solid from 520 to 112th, that is, in Newcastle. Northbound 405 is just getting worse, though. We are now bumper to bumper in South Center, all the way up to the VMAC there at Northeast 44th. WashDOT has shut down that off-ramp to Northeast 44th for road work. This was unscheduled as far as I'm aware. South Center to Bellevue has climbed to 50 minutes. That's close to a half-hour delay. Renton to Puyallup, we're down to 35 minutes now on the Valley Freeway. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing at SubaruofPuyallup.com and enjoy a stress-free buying experience at Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And the dry spell goes on. We will stay rain-free all the way through the weekend. Next chance for some showers will be on Wednesday. Right now, 40 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with the John Curley Show, and you coming along for the ride as well. Well, it's done. Tickets being transferred, right?
Boom.
I was like, Ryan just wrote, got him. You know what inspired me to do this? You, Frank, who we had on the very beginning of the show, right? It was like, hell. There they are right there. Wow. Whew.
You still got to pay for him, by the way.
I know. I got to send the money over to him. All right. You take care of that. Huh? What's wrong, Aaron? Aaron's like my accountant over there. Okay. 1-888-973-5476. What was the name of this movie this guy was in? The
Free Solo.
Did you watch that one?
Absolutely.
Man.
Phenomenal.
This guy, what an interesting cat he is. He grows up in California. He does a little climbing in grade school and high school. He wasn't the best. Then he really got kind of into it. He drops out of, I think he went to Berkeley. He dropped out. He used to drive his mom's van to go wherever he can over to Joshua Tree, climb over there. He drove that thing into the ground. Then he would just ride his bike everywhere and climb anything he could possibly climb. Got himself an old van, lived in that thing, and he kept climbing and climbing. Cliff Bar picked him up as a sponsor. And then they dropped him. He's just too dangerous. He just was the name of the Free Solo?
Free soloing is what he does, which is rock climbing with no harness, no ropes, nothing.
Just him.
Freestyle. Yep.
When they followed him in the documentary, he's going to. I forget who was going to climb Yosemite or something.
El Capitan, which is a famous rock
most dangerous,
climbing
just sheer wall, right? So they're with him. Okay, you're going to climb tomorrow. You're going to climb tomorrow, and they've got the documentary crew with him, and he didn't call him, and they'd been following him for months, watching him train and everything else. He just got up one morning, didn't call them, didn't tell them, and all of a sudden in the documentary, they're like,
He's climbing. Alex is climbing. What? He's at the wall. He just decided, I don't want anybody to watch me. I just want to do this.
Well, there was some weather delay, so they kept putting it off, and then finally he woke up and it was the right conditions.
He also said that when the camera was on him, he was doing it for somebody else. He's a deep, deep dude. And now you can watch him climb the highest, tallest skyscraper in Taipei, Taiwan, on Netflix. You have to pay for it, I assume.
Well, you have to have a Netflix account.
Or you just get a password from somebody else. Mm-hmm. He sat down with CNN to talk about it.
Well, so the original idea of climbing a building actually sort of came to some friends of mine like more than a decade ago, and we scouted some buildings at the time, and it was a proposed TV thing that kind of fell apart. And so it's been kind of simmering on the back burner. The production company Plimsoll that I've worked with on several other projects maybe pitched it to Netflix, and then it sort of happened.
When you watch that free climb, that free solo thing, I can't even breathe.
No.
Because there's no net, he has nothing, no harness, no, belay on, there's nobody there.
Nope. And he's the only person, he was obviously the first person to do it and the only person that's done it.
Yeah, I talked to him about, you could fall. He goes, I know, that's part of the joy of doing it. No fear?
Knowing that you're going to die isn't inherently scary. I mean, that you're going to die. Are you feeling fear about that right now?
No, but I'm not on the side of a mountain.
When I'm doing a real free solo, like something challenging, I'm focused on what I'm doing. And so I'm not thinking about all the other things. And that's kind of why you think about a lot of those things ahead of time, to sort of do all the processing that you need and then commit to the path that you're on. And then when you climb, you're sort of unencumbered by all those other thoughts. Ideally. I mean, sometimes you get up there and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
So I feel every time I crack the microphone.
It's not really that much different than what I do in day-to-day life.
Just normal climbing. So he's talking about going up this building, side of the building.
As a professional rock climber, this is kind of normal. You go out and you climb things that are inspiring and you have a good time.
You're going to have an ice axe slapping it into the window? No.
Have adventures. And then it's interesting because even from a live sports perspective or something like a live TV perspective, I'm like, it's not that different than watching, live football or MMA or other things like that. It seems more dramatic because the consequences are so much higher.
Yeah, let's face it. If he had a rope on him, nobody would watch.
Exactly.
So it's terrible, but people are like, the same way, I don't know, people that watch the Indianapolis 500, they sit there and, aren't people going for the crash?
I am.
Yeah, the difference between high risk and high consequences.
It's funny that people see the high consequences and they're like, that seems crazy. But you're kind of like, well, it's very low risk though, whereas other things that you watch all the time are incredibly high risk. Like people are getting hurt nonstop. Like watching an NFL game, at least two people are going to get one person's going to have a career-ending injury during the game. And you're sort of like, that's a crazy, that's like watching gladiators out fighting for your entertainment. Like that's kind of crazy.
To hear you say it's very low risk,
well,
99.9% of people watching this are thinking, oh my gosh, this is very high risk.
Well, it's very high consequence. I mean, I think it's important to differentiate. Like if something happens, I would die.
Yeah. But that's why he climbs, right?
Yep.
My friend Lash, you ever seen the Isle of Man, the races?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Isle of Man is a self-governing, this is in Ireland, and they have a motorcycle race there, the Man 2T motorcycle race. And its population is 85,000. I think every year one person dies on the race. Speeds up to, and the straightaways at 135 to 180, something like that, miles an hour. And I talked to Lash about it. I think he's raced it. And I said, there's the family. And I think the entire family's been wiped out except like two people left. The dad has died. Two of the brothers have died. Oh, yeah, I know those guys. Yeah, whatever their names are. I said, why do you do that? Like 180 miles an hour, the slightest little thing, you're off that bike and you're gone. He said, well, that's why you do it. And I guess that's the same sort of thing, thinking about climbing anything where you take these risks to climb, that's part of it. And these people are just wired differently.
1,000%.
Than everybody else. The famous, if you read Into Thin Air, a great book, highly recommend it. I can't remember the name of the doctor, an interesting name. He's a Texas surgeon. and he was, I don't know how far up he was. He's coming down. He's into the death zone. He passes out. They think, well, he's dead. And then he comes true miraculously and stumbles down into the tent to wherever they are. He ends up losing his nose, a bunch of his fingers as well. And when they're putting him into the helicopter to fly him away, and they bring him to wherever they brought him to, his wife meets him there. And she says to him, you are selfish and this is awful. I can't believe you do this to me. And he said to me, he says to his wife something to the effect, as I interviewed him once, and he said to his wife, I'm a better man on the mountain than I am at sea level. And she says, well, you're not a husband. You're not a husband on the mountain. And she ended up divorcing him after that. And he couldn't be a surgeon anymore because he didn't have enough fingers. And they had to take skin from, I think, his either inner thigh or his forearm and then attach it to his thigh and then grow a nose for him. Yeah, it was. But there's just something about they want to live.
Yeah. Well, this is, by the way, if you're curious, this is happening tomorrow, live on Netflix at 5 p.m. our time. It's a 1,667-foot tall, 101-story building. And he's climbing it.
You going to watch?
Absolutely.
You are?
I am. I'm going to be
Beck
watching
Weathers.
on my laptop.
Beck Weathers was his name. That's right. Beck Weathers from the Death Zone. Wow. 1996. It was funny. I was reading that book in bed. I turned to Paul. I go, "Oh my God, they're in the death zone. They're the fishery. They can't find everybody." And she says, "I have no sympathy for them." I said, "These are they're human beings." She goes, "I don't care. They took the risk themselves. I have no sympathy." They knew what they were in for. Like,
yeah, I kind of agree.
With who?
With Paula.
Really? Get out of my bed. Goes Nate checking traffic.
This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. North 5 in Seattle were packed from the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge, where 2 left lanes are blocked for Revive I-5. It's going to take you 40 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. Again, once you cross the Ship Canal Bridge, it breaks free right away. It's only another 35 minutes into Everett from there. Northbound 99 remains packed through the downtown tunnel up to South Lake Union. Bellevue to Everett, we're 45 minutes, still heavy from 520 to 527 in Canyon Park, and it's still really thick there in Kirkland. South 5 into Seattle, not doing too bad. You're going to slow a little bit in Northgate. By the time you get to 520, it gets real thick, though. Linwood to Seattle is a 20-minute trip max. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're at 25 minutes on 520. Your solid backup starts at mid-span. 35 minutes on I-90. We're stop and go from the Mercer Tunnel over to I-5. And for some reason, eastbound 90 is now heavy across the lake. I'm not seeing what's causing this. North 405, we're bumper to bumper from South Center all the way up to Northeast 44th at the VMAC, where WashDOT has closed the off-ramp to Northeast 44th for road work. So South Center to Bellevue right now, we're closing in on an hour and 55 minutes. That's a half-hour delay. This backup has eastbound 518 packed from Highway 99 over to 405, and then northbound 167, you're bumper to bumper approaching 180th. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, let's see. If you have got some problems with a shoulder, an elbow, an ankle, a wrist, a knee, whatever it is, my buddy Troy called me the other day, said, I got a bad ankle. Will Wagner work on that? I said, yeah, get the x-ray, get the MRI. It's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. It's a stem cell procedure done by Dr. Mark Wagner. This guy is the best. First thing you know is when you go into the office, there's all these big, beautiful framed pictures and jerseys from all the athletes you're going to recognize. These people have gone to Wagner. If you've got a body and somebody's paying you millions and millions of dollars to perform on the field, and you got something wrong with you, and you go to Wagner, that right there tells you you're in the right place. I went there because I had a bad hip. I wasn't able to run for like 7 years. I was doing all sorts of marathons and everything else. I was stuck. I thought, this is the rest of my life. I'm never going to be able to run again. They took away a real great joy I had. Now, about 11 weeks later, I feel great, signed up for a 5K. So if you're thinking that you got to go under the knife, no. First go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's drmarkwagnermd.com. I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Brandy Cruz. Hey, Brandy, why? Why First Mark Insurance?
Service. I wondered for a second whether I was getting the VIP treatment, and I kind of asked, hey, is this what you do for everyone? And they're like, of course. The whole First Mark Challenge is meant to be personal, right? So it really is tailored and meant to be a personal experience for every single person. I will say I've just done whatever is the quickest and cheapest type of insurance, and I realized while I was doing it, wow, this is what it feels like to get insurance as a real adult. We had a million questions, and they walked us through every step of the process, and then they're working for you. So they're not working for insurance companies, they're working for you. To experience that level of service really shows you what the difference is with First Mark.
Brandy did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Cold leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
We got to go short on Hudson. There we we go. We're at the letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest. Joseph.
Dennis in Seattle says, hey, you know what? Joe's right. It's 4:40 and it's still light out.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for that yesterday, too.
Yep.
Tin Hat Jason says, thumbs up on the intro. Hoorah. Hoorah. That was What's Up, Dude in the Netherlands.
In Neanderthal. That's okay.
What?
Yeah, Neanderthal.
I don't even remember the beginning of the show.
It was funny. It was a guy, I think it was Andrew's intro.
It's the Trump one or the maybe.
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay.
RC in Edmond says, fantastic effing show today. Maybe do a Bucky's ad spot to the tune of the Seahawks Shuffle or Pat Cashman's Blue Wave is on a roll.
Look at RC coming up with ideas. Hee-haw Aaron says, well, I thought, whoa, when she said the whole football team. What these references? I don't remember this stuff.
Come on, you said what's the number a woman gives you when you go, whoa?
Oh, the whole football.
Yeah. Come on, man. Gina in Chimicum says this is on Alex Honnold and doing crazy things. To touch the beating wings of life and come back, if you may, to know that you have lived.
Thank you for that, Gina. Heidi in Everett says, what about Dave Ross's Seahawks song?
Yeah, I meant to look those up, but I forgot.
All right. Heidi reminded you just now.
Thank you. 206 says, can we get a Beat LA chant this weekend like the old Laker games?
That'd be good. 360 says, Rye is excellent as a sports commentator.
Agreed. Brennan Snohomish says, I can remember back when John was living in the exact replica of the Unabomber cabin, complete with jars of urine.
I didn't jar them.
I don't know. When I asked you about
360, this man on the line is a true inspiration. Talk about Frank.
Yeah, that's right. Josh in Auburn says, man, John, Frank was a great guy. I love hearing when you get guests like that. The man said he'd lost a lot and says he found God. Meanwhile, I'm over here being forced into an ultimatum at my job because I can't find childcare in time for the night shift. I need Frank's positivity and faith in life because right now I just don't have it.
Josh, it's out there.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
This is from Sarah, the Wiener Dog Wrangler from Maple Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Also on the body count.
Yes.
John did it in a wicker casket. So that should count as 2 people. Bump up his number a little bit.
Not every night that you get to do it in a casket.
It was an antique. It was from the Civil War.
Yeah.
So I get a pass.
Pass? I don't know. I think
that's all she wrote. It wasn't like we took somebody out of it.
Maybe you should point that part out in the story.
Why do these people listen? Why do they listen to the show and remember everything? They don't memorize all of Nate's traffic reports.
No.
Here comes Nate showing traffic. Nathan?
Yes, sir. Federal Way, South 5 at State Route 18. We've got a new crash blocking 3 left lanes, and you're stacked up to South 272nd. That's close to a 5-mile bumper-to-bumper backup. Seattle to Federal Way is up to 40 minutes. North 5 in Seattle, we're still heavy from the Michigan curve across the Ship Canal Bridge. Give yourself 40 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. Northbound 99 remains thick through the downtown tunnel. Bellevue to Everett at 45 minutes. Solid backup from 520 to 527. A brief break there before you enter another backup in Alderwood. South 5 into Seattle, you're going to slow in Northgate, and that goes down to I-90. It gets thick in the U District. Linwood to Seattle, about 20 minutes. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, we're right around 25, 30 minutes on both routes. And North 405 is just jam-packed from South Center all the way up to the VMAC in Northeast 44th, where WashDOT has closed the off-ramp to Northeast 44th for road work. South Center to Bellevue, 55 minutes. That's a half-hour delay. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable, and I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/plan. That's trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Costco, Hagen's, or Whole Foods. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS